Tonight, dinner comes from CL Pizza. Take out two 14-inch delicious one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and a 2-liter of pop for only $29. Every pizza from the CL Pizza Company in Canadian Lakes is made from scratch with fresh ingredients, so your taste buds are always a-dancing. Take out dinner any night of the week from CL Pizza Company. Two 14-inch one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and a 2-liter of cola. Soda, or pop. Check the full menu at clpizzaco.com and follow CL Pizza on Facebook and Instagram.
This just out, the average age of a vehicle on the road today is just over 11 years. That's impressive because it takes regular maintenance and solid repair work to keep a vehicle running well that long. At Quality Car and Truck Repair, that's what we do. We keep vehicles running their best for as long as possible. We're still changing oil, performing regular maintenance, and doing repairs on vehicles much older than that. Keep your vehicle in shape. Call Quality Car and Truck Repair, 220th Avenue and Perry, just west of 131, Big Rapids.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
Home is where the heart is. Since 1903, we've called the heart of Michigan our home. When you bank with us, your money stays right here, invested back into the communities where we work, play, and live, promoting economic growth and community service. At Isabella Bank, we care about our community because this is our home too. Isabella Bank. Bank local, bank anywhere. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Actually played or not. But right now the Cardinals are scheduled to host the Grant Tigers next week. All right, and we are just about ready for kickoff. It will be your Warriors getting the opening kickoff, and we are underway here from top Taggart Field. Kick is fielded at the 12-yard line, taken around the left side by Gage Todd, and a nice little return there. Gage Todd gets back to about the 33-yard line, and that's where this Warriors offense, led by quarterback Logan Davis, are going to take over.
Now, I've yet to call a game with Gage Todd.
He's so much fun.
I'm really interested just to see what he does in this game because we've seen some real flashes.
Yeah.
He's not the speediest back in the world. He's not really beating you to the edges. But, man, he's run some people over, and he's got a stiff arm that really kind of catches you off guard. So I'm really intrigued to see what he does today.
You made a comparison to me last week in the booth, and after this play, I want to bring that back up because I thought it was a great comparison. It will be Paris Alston in at quarterback to start off.
So
he's
in the gun. Jamal Strickland showing blitz.
High snap. No, it's Davis looking to the left, throws left way over his receiver's head. Pass falls incomplete. A man right in Davis's face. That'll bring up second down. So Bastian, back to Gage Todd for a quick second. Let the people at home know your comparison for Gage Todd.
Yeah, he's got a little bit. You see when he runs, he's got like almost a gallop to it. And it's not the fastest. I'm obviously not comparing him to this kind of running back, but he almost has an Adrian Peterson type gallop and trot to him.
Yeah.
For the people at home who can't see it, he just runs it in a very interesting way. He's just so hard. He just does not stop running. So it's something you see a little bit in him, and it's obviously not the tie-in speed, but you see a lot of that.
On second down, Logan Davis looks deep to pass, and he was looking for Gage Todd. Pass will fall incomplete defensively there for the Cardinals. That was number 20, Xavier Prince.
It was interesting to see two relatively deep pass routes.
Yeah.
In both of them to Gage Todd.
Sure.
Someone who we haven't really seen on the receiving end this year.
Right.
We've seen him run the ball, but and we also haven't seen the offense look this wide open.
Yeah, absolutely.
In almost 2 or 3 years, we haven't seen them really do this. They're coming out guns a-blazing here.
Absolutely.
It's pretty interesting to see.
Davis in the gun for this 3rd and 10. He looks right, fakes the pass, keeps himself up the middle, makes one man miss. Davis running around the right side, only manages to pick up about 5 or 6 yards on that play, but that was a nifty little run there by Logan Davis. That'll bring up 4th down.
I mean, wonder if Logan Davis, when he pulls up out of bounds, just assumes his team's going to go for it. It looked like it would have been a hard get, but usually you see a player maybe turn upfield, but maybe you just didn't quite know because the chains are on the opposite side of the field. So hard to do there. But, you'd like to see your quarterback maybe get those extra 3 yards there for that first down.
And one thing to note, too, we talked about it in the pregame, but Paris Olsen has started out this ballgame on the sideline.
There it is for Big Rapids.
Warriors out there to punt. Back deep is Prince standing at his own 30-yard line. The punt is away there by Gavin Miller. And I didn't see a fair catch. There is a flag, so it must have been a fair catch. I think the Warriors didn't see the signal either, but there is a flag.
So once again, we're starting to see a little bit of that maybe undisciplinedness. I mean, we're only 40 seconds into this game, and we already have a penalty that might be a 15-yarder. You don't like to see that for this Warriors team. That's something we kind of touched on. Maybe we didn't touch on it enough. I mean, last week
it was a lot of penalties.
It was both ways. So maybe it's just high school football right now with the lack of practice is just a little sloppy. But last week we saw more than we've seen our whole time doing this. So that was really interesting to see.
There were also a lot of delay of game penalties last week, which is extremely abnormal for high school football here. So it could have just been, potentially some refs who are really looking to play this game perfectly clean. But either way, it was a lot of penalties last week.
I mean, just especially in high school football, you really don't see it. You see that at the higher levels when you have like a visible play clock and you have that but in high school football, you're really just kind of going off the ref. So it's not, you don't really run into that too often. You don't see, but this team does run a lot of hard counts.
And it was indeed a fair catch penalty on the Warriors. Cardinals offense going to set up at the 45-yard line. Sam Alley in at quarterback. They have a couple different guys. Will Strickler, the other one, who gets a couple of snaps here and there. But it'll be Sam Alley keeping it himself right up the middle. Not much going on that first down carry. Ran right into Jonathan Calabrese. That will bring up 2nd and 8.
I think we will really see the difference in this game is you just have to watch this first few minutes of this offensive defensive line and just see, because when we've watched this matchup in the past, Big Rapids is really kind of eating in that offensive line. And right now, that push there was a little bit, but it wasn't anything crazy. So I think that'll be really interesting to see just how it goes, because there are some big boys on this team for the Warriors here.
2nd and 8, 10:45 left to go here in the first quarter. Alley in the gun. Man in motion. Alley fakes the handoff, keeps himself up the middle. Nice tackle there. Once again, big number 78, Carl Whipple, another one of the interior defensive linemen you mentioned, and he's had a great season so far.
I know it's just one of those players we've been able to see grow up in front of our eyes from sophomore year.
Yeah,
just growing up, and you see every year just adding another tool.
Yeah,
and it's just really interesting to see. And this year, you're really seeing it come there, and then Colby Rose, another player that's really just had a shining season so far, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Just really making themselves known.
Cardinals come out on this 3rd and 5, 2 receivers, 2 Alley's right, 2 to his left, 1 back next to him. You don't see the Cardinals pass very often. Alley will take the snap, roll to his left, and he throws it off, interception. And that was Gage Todd, a great interception there by potentially the MVP of this team so far here early in this season.
And we were looking for Gage Todd. When is he going to make his difference on the offensive side of the ball? When is he going to break out a nice run? When is he going to stiff arm somebody? But no, here it is. They already targeted him twice on passes, but no, his first difference of the game is on the defensive side, jumping a route really well.
That was a great play there by Gage Todd. I got a little bit excited, but that was a nice play.
For 2 seconds, I thought that was a first down pass. I did. And then you see Gage Todd coming out of nowhere with a really nice play.
All right, so now it's the Warriors offense taking over. Davis hands it off. Miller running around the left side. He's brought down hard. Gabe Miller brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Big number 14, Jack Cooley in on the tackle. That'll bring up 2nd and long.
That'll bring up a tackle for loss.
Want to remind you, tonight's game is brought to you by Chippewa Hills School District. Are you ready to become a Warrior? Just visit chsd.us for more. That was a nice play there by Cooley and really this Cardinals defensive line, but unfortunately for Gabe Miller, just couldn't get ahead of steam going before he was met.
Davis in the gun has his
Davis still out there at quarterback. He's in the gun. One receiver to his left, one to his right. Gets a snap. He looks left, throws left. Deep pass, looking for Todd. Pass incomplete, a couple yards beyond him and a little bit out of bounds. So that'll bring up 3rd and long. They've targeted Gage Todd a couple times here tonight. Nothing yet, but if this Warriors team continues to do that, I mean, this is just a different offense than we've seen thus far this season.
I mean, so far this season, we've seen the wing tee. We've seen a very heavy run-dominant attack. And today, they're opening it up and really giving – I mean, Logan Davis hasn't had an opportunity to throw that many passes this week. We saw it a few times last week as they fell behind, but really he hasn't had an opportunity to be a passing quarterback.
Davis in the gun, 2 receivers to his right. Fakes a handoff, keeps himself running on the right side, trying to find the edge. He gets past the 50, makes one man miss. He's brought down at the 40-yard line, let's say, of the Cardinals. Another nice run on 3rd and long, but not enough for the first down.
When we talk about the difference in this team that we see right now, and you wonder if it's personnel based, if Coach Webley sat down this week and said, maybe we don't have the personnel to quite run this right now. Maybe we have a few too many injuries. We need to find another way to get our players in space.
Yeah.
And they come out and run just a completely different style than we've seen. But he does also talk about how he likes to have a multiple offense where he can really run whatever he needs.
Bad snap there on the punt, and it will be recovered there by Gavin Miller, but it'll be a turnover on down. So the Cardinals offense is going to take over at the Warrior 46-yard line. So another running back, but that will bring up 4th down, 4th and 11 now for the Cardinals as they bring their punt unit out onto the field. And we mentioned a couple times here in the pregame, Paris Alston, obviously a big-time playmaker. He didn't play at all last week. He was practicing tonight. He remains on the sideline here. And I believe it is Logan Davis, I think, back deep to receive. Can't quite tell. Can't see the number. Either way, the Cardinals are set to punt the ball back to the Warriors.
We saw this with Paris a couple times last year.
Alley's punt. Sorry about that. Alley's punt goes out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So back to your point.
We saw this a couple times with Paris last year. He was banged up a little bit, but then so they would really use him very sparingly, but only when they really thought they needed a big play. And then he would come in with an injured, I think he had an injured ankle or something last year. He would come in and still make big plays, but then go right back out. So I wonder if maybe they're just trying to nurse him back in slowly with this shortened season. You want to win every game, but you also know your players are going to be in the playoffs. You want them healthy for the playoffs. So maybe we're seeing something like that where he could play, but they just really don't want to risk an injury with him right now.
Sure. Davis in the pistol. 1 receiver to his left, 1 to his right. He gets a snap, fakes the handoff, keeps himself running around the left side, tries to shake off a defender, but a nice tackle there by Jack Cooley right at the line of scrimmage. He'll say he lost a yard or two. That'll bring up 2nd and 12.
So we're only 6 minutes into this game, and each team has already had 2 possessions. We've seen a turnover. We've seen a muffed punt, essentially.
Yeah.
We've seen some sloppy play so far. So you wonder if that'll continue or if maybe we'll see. Neither team has really gotten their footing at all.
Sure.
So it's just been kind of what we've expected. They're both still feeling each other out.
It did rain a little bit right before kickoff, too, so the field is probably still wet out there. I wonder how much that has to do with it. Davis hands it off right up the middle. Gabe Miller on the run picks up 3 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and 9 for this Warriors offense.
I wonder if for teams that don't usually play in a stadium like this, for kids who only ever played in smaller high school stadiums, they come here and they play in a stadium like this, which is a real college feel, the atmosphere here is just a little bit different.
Sure.
I wonder if the bright lights almost sometimes make you a little nervous when you get out on this field. Because, I know when I was in high school, if I would have played on this field, I would have felt like a little superstar. I would have tried to show out. And so I wonder if maybe you see a little bit of that.
So Paris Alston does come out now for this 3rd and 9. He comes in for Gabe Miller. Alston deep to the left. And that's Gavin Miller deep to the right. Davis in the pistol, gets a snap. He looks right, tries to find a screen, and he gets it. Gage Todd trying to make one man miss, and he gets brought down. Nice tackle there by number 16, Jamal Strickland. I believe he did pick up just enough for the first down.
I couldn't tell who it was, but a really nice play there by a linebacker. It looks like that screen had a potential to go a long distance, and they had the block set up, and I couldn't quite see who it was, but the linebacker just really did a good job shedding that block and really ended up blowing up the play, causing Gage Todd to have to try to bounce it like that. And if he wouldn't have, there would have been at least 20 more yards of green grass in front of him.
Ball spotted at the 34-yard line for Davis. High snap. Looks left. Throws left. A bad pass. Falls incomplete through Todd's hands. They've really targeted Gage Todd a few times here tonight, but nothing so far outside of that previous screen.
It seems we weren't the only ones who enjoyed Gage Todd's play so far this season, because, I mean, we've seen him thrown to 4 or maybe 3 or 4 times, maybe 4 times,
I think it's 4
so far. And he hasn't gotten that all season.
Right.
So you think maybe they realize that we need to utilize this weapon that maybe isn't as understood as most of our players.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
Paris Austin, people know he's a weapon. Maybe this is their secret little weapon.
Sure. Davis in the pistol, high snap, ball's on the ground, picked up by the Cardinals. Big number 57, Davis is the one to get the tackle, but Sawyer Muse is the one who recovers the fumble. So once again, the turnover issue that we mentioned here last week, another turnover here tonight.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
Ball spotted at the 27-yard line of the Warriors. Man in motion for Sam Alley. And there will be a timeout called here. Big Rapids takes their first timeout, and so will we.
The end of the season clearance sale is going on now at Lakeside Motorsports and Nelson Speed Shop. You get clearance sale pricing on all pontoons, tri-toons, sport boat, and fishing boats left in stock. Buy your new boat now and save thousands. You get the best price of the year. Buy your new boat now and get free winterization and storage. Every major brand, every boat left in stock is priced to sell now during the end of season clearance sale at Lakeside Motorsports and Nelson Speed Shop.
We're a mercantile bank, and we get what banking should be. More importantly, we get you. We get that you have a life, priorities, and hometown pride. We get that you have things that make you tick and things that tick you off. We get what you want and need from your bank. That's why we promise to think, act, and talk like real people who also have a life and share your priorities and hometown pride. Mercantile gets it. Member FDIC.
My name is Kyle Taliska. I'm the principal at Mecosta Elementary School in the Chippewa Hills School District. My Ability is an integrated behavior and reading model where we improve behavior by teaching explicit skills and then in turn increase our instructional time so that we can impact reading and make it better across the board. The more time on task we can have for all students, the better outcomes educationally. And that gives our teachers the chance to do what they're so gifted at doing as far as educating and getting the best outcomes from our students. For more information, visit chsd.us.
Gingrich Tire Center reminds drivers now is the time to make sure your tires are ready for the winter driving season. Test your tread depth in a few different spots to see if they're wearing evenly. Make sure that they're properly inflated, and the best thing you can do is get your new snow tires now. Get your car winter ready from Gingrich Tire Center of Remus, your one-stop, on-the-spot auto service station with a complete line of quality tires and auto services. At Gingrich Tire Center, they never tire of tires.
Fun to watch.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, if you're lucky enough to be able to watch on the live stream right now, you're seeing what's going on in this game. You're seeing the plays that are happening. You're going to realize that play by Gage Todd, you see why we're talking about that play. He just carried, 3-4 players on his back for almost 7 or 8 yards. Just kept going after they were already on him. And that's it's something that makes him very interesting. It's just a powerful running back.
2nd and 1 now. Ball spotted at the 31-yard line of the Warriors. Davis under center, turns around, hands it off. Gage Todd keeping it himself once again. Tries to pull through a defender. Great run once again. Gage Todd, so much fun to watch. He gets all the way down to the 41-yard line, so a pickup of 10 yards and a first down there for the Warriors.
And I mean, the question we've had so far is like, when will this team find their identity? What will their identity be? We saw they have an identity crisis. The first couple drives, they were throwing the ball, they were running a spread offense, and now I think they found their identity a little bit. Gage Todd today, he's going to be their weapon.
Davis tries to get the defense to jump. He did a great job of that last week. Got 2 or 3 offside penalties called against the defense. Nothing going here. Gage Todd going to keep it once again. Actually, I believe that was Gabe Miller running around the right side. A nice run there on first down for Gabe Miller. Picks up about 6 or 7 yards, let's say. That'll bring up 2nd and 3. This Warriors offense, they may not have one superstar, let's say, but they have a handful of guys who can absolutely carry the ball for you a couple of times and have some success as well.
I think it really changes this offense, makes them a little more dynamic in the long run because they are looking to way more people to put the ball in their hands.
And Davis keeps it himself this time, shakes off the first defender, and he's brought down there by a flock of Cardinals. Big number 50 and 51, Cole Higgins and Brett Martin out there on the tackle. That will bring up 3rd and 9. Maybe not the smartest decision there by Davis to keep the ball.
You know, and I don't love the play call there. I like the way they were opening up, throwing the ball a little bit. I think they were just going a little too big at the beginning. I think they should keep that up a little bit, but also sprinkle in a little bit of the wing team. Play their own play style a bit.
Gage Todd keeps the ball running around the left side. He gets brought down there just over the 50-yard line, but it'll bring up 4th down, and we're going to see another punt here.
To be completely honest, right now, I'm not taking the ball out of Gage Todd's hands. I'm letting him run and just keep running. Because every time we see it, Big Rapids just doesn't have anything to stop him.
Yeah.
He's bigger, he's more physical. They just don't quite have a way to stop him right now. You just got to use your weapons like that. Maybe it might not be the prettiest way to get it done, but it might be the way to get it done today.
So we saw a miscommunication on the punt earlier. This one gets away, nearly blocked, but it will be a beauty of a punt and a fair catch and more contact. It's like the Warriors punt team just don't see the Cardinal calling for the fair catch. They just tackled him as soon as he got the ball. Just miscommunication or something right there.
And I mean, we talked about it earlier. That can happen one time. That's but 2 times, that's just undisciplined. That's not being sloppy. That's just being undisciplined. I mean, at some point you got to realize you just break down, you look up, you see that fair catch. I mean, we can see the fair catch. It's out there.
Right.
He's calling for the fair catch. You just can't run into him. So, I mean, that's 2 times it's going to cost you field position.
Yeah.
And so far, it hasn't cost you in terms of the scoreboard, but you can't keep doing that. So when you're playing a team that really can capitalize, that's going to put you in a huge deficit.
Yeah, there was certainly no question that it was a fair catch. I mean, it was very obvious he made a grand motion. I don't know what happened there.
We're
Just
still
another
in the
lapse
first
of
quarter
judgment.
here.
Yeah.
We have an interception, 2 fumbles, and 2 penalties on block.
Yeah.
Or on punts.
Yeah.
And a fumble on a punt. So
Right.
we have all that in 1 quarter of football so far.
1:20 left to go. Sam Alley hands it off right up the middle. Not much going. Picks up maybe a yard there. Does Gorshowitz. That'll bring up 2nd and 8.
So still 2 teams just trying to find their identity here.
Want to remind you, tonight's game is brought to you by Bader & Sons Company at greentractors.com. Outstanding in their field with sales of new and used John Deere farm and lawn equipment, parts, certified service technicians, plus brands like Steel and Air Wren's. Thank you to Bader & Sons Company. 2nd and 8 now. Under a minute left to go here in the first quarter. Alley in the gun. 2 receivers to his right, 2 to his left, man in motion. Hands it off. Kidder running around the left side. Tries to make one man miss. He does. Following his blockers and a nice run there by Grant Kidder. Gets over the 50-yard line. Brought down at the 46-yard line there. The Warriors, and a nice run there by the Cardinals offense. That might be what this offense needs.
And they got a little bit of footing here. Now continue it. We've seen fumbles. We've seen turnovers. And it's just now they just got to figure out if they can get to the end zone. Because we've seen them in Warriors territory so far, but it's just the mistakes just keep happening. Well, we wonder with this, will the second quarter be a little cleaner after this play?
Yeah, this will likely be the final quarter here Final play, of the first quarter. Sam Alley in the gun, man in motion. Fakes a handoff, keeps himself up the middle, brought down right at the line of scrimmage. They haven't let Sam Alley get too much yet. Carl Whipple in there on the tackle, and that will be the final play here of the first quarter. So at the end of one, score 0-0. Big Rapids Cardinals tied with the Chippewa Hills Warriors, but the Cardinals are driving. We're going to take a quick 30-second break. You're listening to Chippewa Hills Warrior Football on WIBR Y102 Big Rapids, broadcasting live from the Isabella Bank Sports Studios.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
Home is where the heart is. Since 1903, we've called the heart of Michigan our home. When you bank with us, your money stays right here, invested back into the communities where we work, play, and live, promoting economic growth and community service. At Isabella Bank, we care about our community because this is our home too. Isabella Bank. Bank local, bank anywhere. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Thing I'm questioning is who's going to be the second player outside of Alley for their team to really step up and do something for him tonight.
3rd and 1, Alley drops back. He's looking to pass, and he's going to huck it out of bounds. That will be incomplete. No intentional grounding on that one. That'll bring up 4th down. Sam Alley took the snap and retreated about 7 or 8 yards. That's uncommon, you could say.
I mean, as you are a fan of Josh Allen in the NFL,
absolutely.
It's a little Josh Allen drop back there. Just kept going. Really just let him loose, but really made a smart play that I really liked, throwing that ball away. Because, I mean, like I said, at the high school level, some of these players, they aren't quite used to that. They're not making a quick decision like that. But that's a decision that if he gets sacked there, this is 4th and 15, almost 4th and 12. And now it's 4th and 1, and they can go for it in this situation.
And they are. Cardinals offense stays out onto the field. Alley in the gun, a little bit of miscommunication here between a couple of his receivers, 3 receivers. 2 is left, 1 to his right. Man in motion, it's Kidder. Alley gets the snap. He rolls right and pass picked off once again. Gage Todd running the other way. Gage Todd trying to follow his blockers, and he gets brought down all the way at the 31-yard line. Gage Todd having the game of his life here tonight.
And I'll say this to anyone who's listening to the pregame show, and I'll say this to Gage Todd, I'll thank you. You made us both sound very smart today.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are still we're in the second quarter with still 10 minutes left, almost 11 minutes left in the second quarter. Gage Todd has 2 interceptions, has a screenplay that he took for a first down, and he's been carrying people running the ball. It's like everywhere on the field, he's there. And
absolutely.
So it makes us look like we know what we're talking about.
Absolutely. Want to remind you, tonight's game is brought to you by Gingrich Tire. Are you weather ready? Just stop in Gingrich Tire in downtown Remus or visit online at gingrichtire.com today. So the Warriors offense comes back out onto the field. Davis under center, turns around, hands it off. Gabe Miller running around the right side. He's brought down. Nice tackle there by Jack Cooley. Good to see him back out there. Hopefully the injury was nothing too serious, but that was a nice tackle there by Cooley.
I'm just happy to see Cooley back out there. That's, you never want to see an injury. Just back out there and already making plays.
Yeah.
And it really, at first, it looked like an injury where it might be they are going to be on the field for a minute. We need to take some time away from him. But now, already back on the field. So that just makes me enjoy the rest of this game that much more. I don't have to think about that at all.
Absolutely. 2nd and 10 now for the Warriors. Davis under center in that wing T formation. Turns around, hands it off. Running around the left side is Gage Todd. He finds the edge, tries to break through another tackle, and he gets brought down out of bounds. I thought that was potentially a late hit. He was pushed out of bounds and then dragged down, but no flag.
And like we said, last week, we were a little surprised on some of the delay of game. That's a call you don't see.
Yeah.
You usually see them very quick to pull the trigger on any sort of late hits.
Sure.
But we've seen a couple times this year where we were like, that might have been out of bounds, but they're letting it happen. So right there was a little bit of that.
So Gage Todd gets tackled out of bounds, but the clock continues to run here. Davis under center for this 3rd and 4. 3 backs behind him, tries to get the defensive jump, nothing going. Davis gets a snap, turns around, hands it off. Guess who? Gage Todd pulls through one defender, and he gets brought down. He'll be close to the first down marker. I believe forward progression will give it to him, and they will. Gage Todd, what a great run. Only 3 or 4 yards there, but man, that was a tough run.
I mean, it's different when it's not nothing against his offensive line, but it's not like his offensive line is opening these gaping holes that anyone could run through. No, he's just going through, taking on 3 people head to head and creating a hole for himself. Yeah. So that's where it's really interesting to watch Gage Todd run. It's because it may not be these huge 80-yard sprinting away from everybody and separating, but no, it's these little runs where he just makes a difference.
Davis under center, turns around, fakes a handoff, keeps himself running on the right side. He's got some blockers, and Logan Davis will break the tackle and get into the end zone. Touchdown, Warriors!
And no one told me at the beginning of the season that Logan Davis had the set of legs that he does. He's not the world's fastest athlete or anything, but he really just has a way to make people miss. You see him just dancing his way out of some tackles that are very surprising. Yeah. And right there, you just see him. He's very deceptive with the ball and just really made himself get right in it. He almost has that stealing second base run when he runs. Right. You really see the baseball player almost a little bit.
And I want to give a lot of credit there to number 12, Gavin Miller. He actually looked like he had run a route. He wasn't expecting Davis to keep it himself, but he did have a huge block in what was probably the touchdown saving block there. So the Warriors take a 6-0 lead. They're going to go for 2 here. Davis under center, turns around, fakes a handoff, keeps himself rolling around the right side, trying to make something happen and pass. And pass falls incomplete. Takes a one hop to his receiver. So no good, but score remains 6-0 here. Your Chippewa Hills Warriors lead over the Big Rapids Cardinals. We're going to take a quick 30-second break.
The end of the season clearance sale is going on now at Lakeside Motorsports and Nelson Speed Shop. You get clearance sale pricing on all pontoons, tri-toons, sport boat, and fishing boats left in stock. Buy your new boat now and save thousands. You get the best price of the year. Buy your new boat now and get free winterization and storage. Every major brand, every boat left in stock is priced to sell now during the end of season clearance sale at Lakeside Motorsports and Nelson Speed Shop.
All right, football fans, welcome back here to Top Taggart Field. James Young and Bastian Taylor here as your Chippewa Hills Warriors are looking to get their first win of the season against the Big Rapids Cardinals, who are also looking to get their first win of the season. Score 6-0 here. 9 minutes left to go here before halftime. Logan Davis scampers into the end zone for the first touchdown here of the ballgame. Strickland fields the kickoff at the 20-yard line, trying to find the edge, break through the first tackle, stiff arms another defender, and he gets brought down at the 36-yard line. A nice return there by Jamal Strickland. Didn't look like a lot was happening, but he made something out of nothing. So the Cardinals offense will set up now. Ball spotted at their own 36-yard line. That's pretty good starting field position here for Sam Alley and the offense.
Yeah, and the offense really needs to get something going. I mean, we've seen some picks. Gage Todd is shutting them down himself. So they need to really get something going here, especially, we've seen both teams struggling to score. They're already falling behind a little bit. They need to maybe just get some footing, get something going on the scoreboard, feel good about themselves, get that confidence we've been talking about.
Even if nothing else, just have a long drive that doesn't end in a turnover.
Yeah, just a sustaining drive. Maybe just win the field position battle for a little bit here.
Alley in the gun. Gets a snap, fakes the handoff, keeps himself up the middle, and a nice tackle there. I believe that was number 54, Malachi Cushman. That is only a gain of a yard or so. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Let's say he just got back to the line of scrimmage, so it will be 2nd and 10.
And we talked about it a little bit. Who's going to be that second player that's going to help Sam Alley? Sam Alley, you can obviously tell the defense is keying on him really hard. And it gives his other players opportunities to make a play, but now it's just which one is going to step up and break off that big 30-yard run. Which one's going to make that, that big play for him that really helps him out, so he doesn't have to shoulder the load.
2nd and 10 now. Sam Alley in the gun. One receiver split wide to his left. A couple tight ends out there in the backfield with him. He hands it off. Running around the right side now is Gorshowitz. And a nice tackle there by number 12, Gavin Miller. Gorshowitz only manages to pick up 2 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and 7.
That was a nice tackle. a really formed tackle, really everything perfect on that tackle. So that was a really nice one to see, just around the edge. And it's really just nice to see two players meet like that.
Right.
Perfect form on both sides.
Yeah.
It's just a really nice tackle. And you imagine on this crisp night like tonight, probably felt those pads a little harder than normal.
Absolutely, yep. 3rd and 8 now, 7:20 left to go here in the second quarter. Alley in the gun, 2 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. He drops back, looking left, looks right, deep pass right, and overthrew his receiver. He was looking there for Jack Cooley, but the pass falls incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down.
Looking for Cooley, but it looked like he had a receiver. They looked like they were running 2 seam routes right up the middle, but they had one receiver actually really find a niche, and then they didn't go that way. He was looking to Cooley on the right side, probably the senior, someone he feels a good connection with, but still he might have had a bigger play if he went there.
So it will be Logan Davis back deep to receive this punt.
Never know which one's going to get it, but you usually see some sort of rugby punt.
Couple of guys back deep here to punt this off, and it will be Sam Alley. Punt end over end, takes a bounce at the 40-yard line. Nice Warrior bounce, but Davis picks it up. Very, very scary play there by Davis, but thankfully only gets brought down as soon as he picks it up. Ball spotted at the 30-yard line, and that's where him and the offense will take over.
Another scary play. We've seen the special teams. That's one area where I'd like to see this Warriors team clean it up. We've seen some penalties. We've seen fumbles. I think they've had 2 return or at least 1 to return touchdown, another one to like the 4-yard line. So we've seen that, and they need to clean up that little thing because you've got to win in every facet if you want to win.
Davis under center, hands it off immediately, right up the middle.
Aggressive blocking.
A couple of late blocks there by a Cardinal and a Warrior. I believe it was Sheldon who picks up about 3 yards, 2nd and 7.
I'm never going to complain about watching the offensive line establish the block there,
It really was interesting. Ball was spotted at the 30-yard line, and the blockers ended up near the 45-yard line.
It's almost like that classic scene in The Blind Side where you just see Michael Ower carrying him to the sideline. That's what it felt like a little bit right there.
Davis tries to get the defense to jump, hands it off. Running around the right side is Gabe Miller, and Miller picks up a nice chunk of yards. That'll bring up 3rd and about 2. Just over 6 minutes left to go here in the first half.
So a little bit better drive here, or a little bit slow drive here. Just drive down the clock, bring it all the way down, take out this. And we see the Warriors do that. They take these long, long drives where they just eat up clock. And that's how they're going to win this game, is if they just keep themselves ahead on the scoreboard and just keep the ball in their hands like this. Keep it out of Sam Alley's hands.
Davis under center, turns around, hands it off. Running around the left side now is Gage Todd. Gage Todd finds the edge. Gage Todd over midfield, and he gets brought down there near the 32-yard line. Number 20, Xavier Prince out there on the tackle. But Gage Todd, once again, another great play there by the junior.
And Gage Todd must have heard me say he doesn't break off the long one.
Yep.
He's not always doing that, because then what does he do right there? He breaks off a long one.
Yeah.
And it makes me look like a fool.
Right.
But hey, I'll take it, because that was a beautiful run. And he's not, like I said, he's not the fastest, but he finds a way to get that edge.
Yeah.
And he really does pull away, and then he just runs you over.
Yeah, right.
And so what do? Do you tackle him, or he's going to run you over? And so there's so many things. He's a hard player to bring down.
Ball spotted at the 27-yard line. Handoff right up the middle there. Chad Sheldon, Mr. First Down, keeps fighting. And a great run there by Chad Sheldon on first down. About 6 yards there. Looked like he was going to be brought down right at the line of scrimmage, but he just kept fighting.
It's almost a little chippiness. You see the grit. You see this offensive line really wanting to fight for that extra yard. And that's what I'm noticing right now, is everyone on this Warriors team, whether it be Gage Todd, whether it be Chad Sheldon, Logan Davis, anybody, they're fighting for that extra yard here.
Absolutely.
And you're seeing it. The offensive line is holding their blocks well after.
Ball spotted at the 22-yard line. They need to get to about the 17. Davis fakes the handoff. He looks right, throws right. He finds his man in the end zone. Troy Mount gets his first touchdown here of the season as the Warriors increase their lead.
And I couldn't be happier to see Troy Mount get that touchdown, because Troy Mount last week came out and didn't have his best week receiving the ball. He had a couple drops, some that haunt you. And he gets to come out first half this week. Huge touchdown pass right there. puts his team up 12-0 with a chance to really go up. I mean, if they go for two, chance to go up 2 whole scores, really put his team in a chance to win here.
Great play there by Logan Davis, too. Nice throw. He doesn't get the chance to throw too often. I mean, he has here tonight, but the first 2 games of the season he had not. Gavin Miller's extra point is up, and it's good. Score 13-0 here, 4:37 left to go.
My name is Kyle Taliska. I'm the principal at Mecosta Elementary School in the Chippewa Hills School District. My Ability is an integrated behavior and reading model where we improve behavior by teaching explicit skills and then in turn increase our instructional time so that we can impact reading and make it better across the board. The more time on task we can have for all students, the better outcomes educationally. And that gives our teachers the chance to do what they're so gifted at doing as far as educating and getting the best outcomes from our students. For more information, visit chsd.us.
Football fans, welcome back here to Top Taggart Field as the kickoff will go out of bounds. So the Big Rapids Cardinals are going to get good starting field position here, and they need it. They're down 13-0 here against the Chippewa Hills Warriors as Logan Davis gets his second touchdown here of the night.
And Logan Davis really stepping up to that game. I mean, obviously Gage Todd has really had a huge impact on this game. But Logan Davis, the run was beautiful. I mean, it was a really beautiful run. He got to the corner, got the edge, got the touchdown, put his team ahead. And then here again, we see a really nice pass to Troy O'Mount, who, like I said earlier, had a few drops. So that's a huge catch for him, momentum building for him, confidence building for him. If he continues catching passes, that just adds another layer to this offense. That's going to be really dangerous, especially when they get Paris Alston back to full health.
And it looks like we're actually going to have a re-kick here. So the Warriors will once again kick the ball off. This one stays in bounds. Fielded at the 25-yard line by Strickland. And he follows his blocks, running around the left side. Strickland has one man to beat and a couple of blockers. Strickland to the 30, and he gets bucked down there at the 23-yard line. Great return there by Strickland.
So maybe I'm just really smart today, or maybe I'm just on top of my game. But I talked earlier, the special teams for the Warriors is the most worrisome unit for me. The offense is okay. It's still finding its, figuring things out. The defense really has a strong defensive line and some linebackers that make plays. So I feel confident about them there. But this special teams, they're good at extra points. They do well there. But on the return game, they are really struggling in coverage. I mean, that's the 3rd or maybe even the 4th in 3 weeks long return we've seen. And you just can't have that if you want to win games, because that almost just turned the tide of this entire first half.
Ball spotted at the 23-yard line of the Warriors, and that's where Sam Alley and this Cardinal offense will take over. 4:27 left to go here in the first quarter. Alley hands it off to Gorchowitz, running around the right side. He gets all the way down to about the 20-yard line, so a pickup of about 4 yards there.
Now this defense, again, put in a position where they're going to have to stand tall. Really, I mean, there's 4 minutes left in this quarter, in this half here. If they can really stand tall, but if they don't want to let this team double dip, because I believe the Cardinals are getting the ball back to start the second half. So if they score here, I mean, right there, the turns the tide of the game completely, just because that one huge play you let up in special teams. And we've seen it so many times this year. That's already becoming an issue. Only 3 games in.
Alley in the gun. One man to his left. He hands it off. Gorchowitz running around the right side. He breaks through the defense, and he will walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals.
So there we are. We see it already. So with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left, this touchdown comes. And 3 plays ago, how did that momentum feel? How did the energy here feel? It was way different. And now these Cardinals players feel like they're back in this game.
Right.
I mean, just a few seconds ago, we were talking about how a 13-0 lead might be enough to sustain it.
Right.
And now here we are, 2 plays later, and there's a touchdown. So you just see the change already that quick.
I mean, there is a lot of similarities here to the Reed City game as well. Obviously, Chippewa Hills was up by 4 as the Cardinals take their second time out here the first half. We're going to keep it right here. Chippewa Hills was up 4 against Reed City at halftime, but the Reed City Coyotes scored right before halftime, came out and scored as soon as they got the ball, which was right after the kickoff. So they scored on their first possession of second half, and they just never looked back.
And what we've seen with this team, I mean, that's been a kind of a motif through the season. I mean, obviously only 2 games, but they can do stuff at the beginning of the game, but they're really struggling closing out games. And I mean, is this the start of that already?
Sure.
Are we starting to see that, So this is, I think this drive with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left could be huge.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen they can score that quickly. We've seen they can do that. So what if maybe they get a big difference? So I think this next 3 minutes and 40 seconds will say a lot about what this game's going to end up looking like. it's crazy how much just those 2 or 3 plays right there just make it feel like a completely different game. Because before that, I mean, Sam Alley and this offense weren't doing anything.
Sure.
They really couldn't get much done. So,
Right.
so that was a really a huge swing in this game.
Sam Alley out there for the extra point now, looking to make this a 6-point ball game. 3:40 left to go here in the first half. Alley's kick is up, and it is good. So score 13-7. We're going to take a quick 30-second break. You're listening to Chippewa Hills Warrior Football on Y102 WIBR Big Rapids, broadcasting live from the Isabella Bank Sports Studios.
The end of the season clearance sale is going on now at Lakeside Motorsports and Nelson Speed Shop. You get clearance sale pricing on all pontoons, tri-toons, sport boat, and fishing boats left in stock. Buy your new boat now and save thousands. You get the best price of the year. Buy your new boat now and get free winterization and storage. Every major brand, every boat left in stock is priced to sell now during the end of season clearance sale at Lakeside Motorsports and Nelson Speed Shop.
Take over. I want to remind you tonight's game is brought to you by Mercantile Bank, home, community, partnering with our neighbors and local businesses. Mercantile gets it. Member FDIC. Also brought to you by Lakeside Motorsports, name brand boats, Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, Indian motorcycles, Polaris and Can-Am snowmobiles, and off-road. Find it all at Lakeside. LakesideMotorsports.net. And of course, stick around for in just over 3.5 minutes for the Chippewa Hills School District halftime report. We will review all of the action here of this very exciting first half. Davis under center, 3 backs behind him. Hands it off. Running on the right side is Gabe Miller. Nice first down carry there by Gabe Miller. Gets all the way up to the 42-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and 4 as a Cardinal limps off the field. That's number 11, Grant Kidder. And he's a big-time player offensively and defensively for these Cardinals team, so hopefully nothing too serious there for Kidder. 2nd and 3 now. Davis under center, once again in that wing T formation. Turns around, fakes a handoff, keeps himself rolling around the left side. He confused the defense over midfield. Logan Davis will hop out of bounds at the 40-yard line, and another great run there by quarterback Logan Davis. He's really had a couple of nice runs here tonight, and that's just another one there, as it'll be a first down for the Warriors, ball spotted at the 40-yard line. 2:54 left to go here in the second quarter. Logan Davis already has two touchdowns here tonight, a rushing touchdown as well as a passing touchdown. Under center, turns around, hands it off. Gage Todd pulls through his first defender, and he gets brought down, and he stands up and flexes as he trucks his defender. Gage Todd brings it down to about the 35-yard line, a carry of 5 yards. That was a tough 5 yards, 2nd and 5.
So yeah, Gage Todd, I mean, he just keeps running. And I think he might be one of those players. I want to see if it continues this way, but he seems like one of those players who just, by the end of the game, he just is still running just as hard as he was in that first quarter. So that's really interesting.
2nd and 5. Gabe Miller takes the handoff, running around the right side, stays on his feet. He'll be close to the first down. I believe he's about a yard or two short, but another nice run there by this Warriors offense, this time by Gabe Miller. He's had a nice ball game here tonight as well. A handful of carries, a handful of yards. 3rd and 2, under 2 minutes left to go. Davis under center, turns around, hands it off. Nothing going there. Great penetration by the Cardinal defensive line. Gabe Miller on the carry gets brought down behind the line of scrimmage. You don't see that very often on 3rd and short, but it'll actually end up being 4th and 4. DJ Green Bay, among others, out there for the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
All right, so here we are, minute 25 left on the clock.
And I believe the Warriors offense is going to stay out there, and they're going to go for it. And maybe they're going to think about it here. Davis comes back to the sideline. I believe the Warriors are going to take a timeout, and they do.
Not a ton to lose, in my opinion, here. As a big fan of going on 4th down, especially in this situation. I just don't really understand the getting rid of or not going for it here, 4th and 3.
So 1:07 left to go here in the first half. We're going to keep it right here as the Warriors take their first timeout of the first half.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
US for more. So both teams break the huddle now. 107 left to go here in the first half. Score 13-7. The Warriors lead the Big Rapids Cardinals, and the Warriors offense is going to stay out on the field. Davis under center, turns around, hands it off. Gage Todd put down behind the line of scrimmage. A great tackle there by Austin Venix, who gets up and flexes after Todd did the same a couple of plays ago. That'll be a turnover on downs. First down Cardinals, and they could tie this ball game up.
So a little rivalry there. We see that with the flexing, but I also think maybe at this point this defense thought maybe they knew who was getting the ball on that kind of play. So maybe there we've seen Logan Davis pull. So maybe if we see another fourth down carry like that where it's an obvious Gage Todd run, maybe Logan Davis will use his feet to scamper out of there and use some misdirection because he's done a good job with that thus far.
101 left to go here in the first half. The Cardinals have one timeout remaining. Ball spotted at their own 39-yard line. They're down 6 points. They could get the lead here before halftime, and they will get the ball coming out of halftime as well, so they could go 2 for 1. Allie looks back to the sideline for the call. He's in the gun. 2 receivers to his left. He hands it off right up the middle, and broken tackle there is Cooley running around the left side. Good to see him out there after the injury earlier on. He crosses over midfield. Ball spotted at the 45-yard line of the Warriors.
Good to see Cooley out there, but I know Warriors fans aren't too happy with a run like that being broke. And then at the same time, there's only 50 seconds left. And, I mean, we're talking 5 minutes ago. This is a 13-0 ball game. It looked like the Warriors might be able to walk away with this one easy.
Sure.
And now we're wondering if maybe they get a score before the half and then get the ball back again. So not only double dip, but triple dip really before this.
A little bit of miscommunication here by the offense. 30 seconds left now. And I believe they're going to take their third and final timeout. Of they will.
Home is where the heart is. Since 1903, we've called the heart of Michigan our home. When you bank with us, your money stays right here, invested back into the communities where we work, play, and live, promoting economic growth and community service. At Isabella Bank, we care about our community because this is our home too. Isabella Bank. Bank local, bank anywhere. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Chippewa Hills Warrior football on Y102 WIBR.
The end of the season clearance sale is going on now at Lakeside Motorsports and Nelson Speed Shop. You get clearance sale pricing on all pontoons, tri-toons, sport boat, and fishing boats left in stock. Buy your new boat now and save thousands. You get the best price of the year. Buy your new boat now and get free winterization and storage. Every major brand, every boat left in stock is priced to sell now during the end of season clearance sale at Lakeside Motorsports and Nelson Speed Shop.
We're a mercantile bank, and we get what banking should be. More importantly, we get you. We get that you have a life, priorities, and hometown pride. We get that you have things that make you tick and things that tick you off. We get what you want and need from your bank. That's why we promise to think, act, and talk like real people who also have a life and share your priorities and hometown pride. Mercantile gets it. Member FDIC.
My name is Kyle Taliska. I'm the principal at Mecosta Elementary School in the Chippewa Hills School District. My Ability is an integrated behavior and reading model where we improve behavior by teaching explicit skills and then in turn increase our instructional time so that we can impact reading and make it better across the board. The more time on task we can have for all students, the better outcomes educationally. And that gives our teachers the chance to do what they are so gifted at doing as far as educating and getting the best outcomes from our students. For more information, visit chsd.us.
Gingrich Tire Center reminds drivers now is the time to make sure your tires are ready for the winter driving season. Test your tread depth in a few different spots to see if they're wearing evenly. Make sure that they're properly inflated, and the best thing you can do is get your new snow tires now. Get your car winter ready from Gingrich Tire Center of Remus, your one-stop, on-the-spot auto service station with a complete line of quality tires and auto services. At Gingrich Tire Center, they never tire of tires.
Home is where the heart is. Since 1903, we've called the heart of Michigan our home. When you bank with us, your money stays right here, invested back into the communities where we work, play, and live, promoting economic growth and community service. At Isabella Bank, we care about our community because this is our home too. Isabella Bank. Bank local, bank anywhere. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are.
We're broadcasting live from the Y102 Isabella Bank Sports Studio. Bank local, bank anywhere. Isabella Bank, member FDIC. Also want to recognize our game sponsors here tonight. Bader & Sons, your local John Deere dealer, outstanding in their field. Find out more at greentractors.com, as well as Lakeside Motorsports. The end of season clearance is going on now on all boats in stock. Save thousands and get free winterization. Just stop in today. So score here at halftime, 13-7. The Warriors lead the 0-2 Big Rapids Cardinals, but Bastian, man, for a second there, for a few minutes there, it really felt like this game could have been tied up or in the Cardinals' favor.
Yeah, it started off 13-0, obviously. Huge deficit. It felt, at that point, the Cardinals' offense hadn't moved the ball at all. Yeah. It kind of just felt like it was going to continue at that pace. We've seen 3 picks from Sam Alley.
Right.
Some of them more just good plays, and some of them just, just how the offense had to move.
Yep.
But a 13-0 lead that quick switches up to a 13-7, deficit, not too much. But then right away they almost get a second chance to score. And then at the end of the half, Sam Alley throws the interception. But, you got to think they were at the 15-yard line, 20-yard line, had a chance. If they would have maybe managed the clock a little bit better, they might have a touchdown. It might be a really close game. They might have a lead.
Yeah, that was my first takeaway as well. They finished their previous play, and there was about 55-ish seconds left on the clock, And then by the time they took their final timeout, there was 37 seconds left. So that's almost 20 seconds. That just can't happen if you're looking at the end of a half to score.
And then even on the spike, obviously, it's a little harder at the high school level. You know, we're waiting for the refs. We got to get the clock started. But, I mean, we saw it go from 12 seconds down to 7 seconds. I mean, that's only this, but that's a difference on that last play of maybe Sam Alley throwing that pick, being able to throw the ball away and run one more play.
Sure.
You know? So that could have been, for them, that could have put them, they needed to take that opportunity and really run with it. Because, I mean, at that point, you score there, you get, even if you don't get the extra point, whatever, you're still down. I mean, it's tied at that point of the game. And then you're getting the ball back to start this second half. And you've already had a return that almost went for a touchdown, so maybe you can do that again and continue to do that. So those are some things that we've seen so far that really, I mean, that return really just turned the tide of the whole game. Yeah. It really kept it competitive.
Right. Yeah. I want to take a quick moment because especially in the first quarter, we were pointing out the miscues of the Warriors. They cleaned it up a lot, I think, in the second quarter. Logan Davis does have a fumble, and there were a couple of really no other way to put it than to be blunt, boneheaded penalties, running into a fair catch interference, twice on special teams. But that got cleaned up in the second quarter. But this special teams of this Warriors, you mentioned it. It really is a weakness.
It's been a problem. I noticed it last week. I wasn't on the broadcast, but I just watching behind the camera, I was like, all right, you know, it's the first couple of weeks. They haven't really had the time to mesh. And special teams is one of those things where you really do need that time to just reps. You need to run those. You need to stay in your lane. You really need to know what you're doing on all those returns. Until you work through it, you don't realize why it's so important that you do just your job. Sometimes it's more important to just do your job than do anything else. And I think right now we're seeing them not have any sort of gap containment, lane containment at all. Yeah. And we've seen, I mean, 2 punt returns and now a kick return that should have been a touchdown. You know, it should have been a touchdown. It was really close. A huge return that turns the tide of a whole game. And we've seen that so many times this year. It's now, I mean, in 3 games, now it's starting to become a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that head coach A.J. Webley, if he's going to want this team to be competitive in the postseason, which they will get to, if he wants this team to surprise a couple people, potentially make a run, it's certainly something they're going to have to address.
And now the more we talk about it, at first, I was a little apprehensive of the way the playoffs were set up. I was like, maybe it doesn't put any incentive into winning these season games. Sure. It really doesn't. It makes it just kind of like, I understand the reason for it, and I understand it. But at the same time, it was just like, it takes away the
specialness.
Yeah, it makes them just feel a little different. But now I'm starting to see the intricacies of the way a team could really come on now. Like if they start to find that they're finding their footing, they really think they're going to be, their confidence goes up. This win maybe for either team here could maybe bring them to that next level. Absolutely. Where they're ready to make a difference. And then when they get to the playoffs, maybe they're not a state champion contender, but maybe they're going to do something, shake it up a little bit. And I think that's just going to make this season really interesting. And like I said, or like you said, Webley's going to have to make a change to the special teams, figure something out. Who knows? Next week he could come out, his special teams got it figured out, dialed in, and in the rest of the season, they're a huge part of the team. Yeah. So anything like that can happen, especially when you only practice. I mean, you got to think, we're 3 weeks deep into the season, but they've only practiced 5 weeks maybe. So they're still really a young team. Yeah. And every team is still figuring it all out.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned, special teams could flip a switch. Any aspect of any team, it feels like, at any point in the season, like you mentioned, they're maybe not young, but potentially new this year especially. I feel like any aspect of a team could just flip a switch, good or bad, at any point in the season. And it's certainly something that teams and coaches and everyone is going to have to kind of adjust to as we go forward this year.
I mean, it's just a strange season. Yeah. I think at any point, I mean, if 2020 taught us all anything, it's just to be prepared for it. Right. Absolutely. And this season is kind of like that. And a team only practicing 2 weeks. I mean, you got to think we're in pads for a week, but barely getting any sort of contact, anything like that. So you see the sloppiness. I mean, we saw it roughly. I mean, how often do you see a fair catch interference twice in 1 quarter, let alone one game? Right. So that's just something you don't see. You see the sloppiness, the fumbles, the turnovers. And that first quarter was super ugly. It was turnover. But then the second quarter, cleaned it up a little bit. Yep. We saw a little cleaner. We saw a little bit more cohesiveness from each side. So I think the second half, maybe some more adjustments, and we'll see that. At this point, we have a very competitive game, and that's all we can really hope for.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. When we come back, we'll look more in depth at the Warriors offense of the first half. You're listening to Chippewa Hills Warrior Football on Y102 WRBR Big Rapids, broadcasting live from the Isabella Bank Sports Studio.
Tonight, dinner comes from CL Pizza. Take out two 14-inch delicious one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and a 2-liter of pop for only 29 bucks. Every pizza from the CL Pizza Company in Canadian Lakes is made from scratch with fresh ingredients, so your taste buds are always a-dancing. Take out dinner any night of the week from CL Pizza Company. Two 14-inch one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and a 2-liter of cola. Soda or pop. Check the full menu at clpizzaco.com and follow CL Pizza on Facebook and Instagram.
Gingrich Tire Center reminds drivers now is the time to make sure your tires are ready for the winter driving season. Test your tread depth in a few different spots to see if they're wearing evenly. Make sure that they're properly inflated, and the best thing you can do is get your new snow tires now. Get your car winter ready from Gingrich Tire Center of Remus, your one-stop, on-the-spot auto service station with a complete line of quality tires and auto services. At Gingrich Tire Center, they never tire of tires.
I wanted to take a quick look at the offensive touchdowns, especially for the Warriors. Logan Davis had a rushing touchdown, a really nice run around the right side. The 2-point conversion was no good, but it was a nice run. And then he also had a passing touchdown to Troy Mount, both in the second quarter. You mentioned it before we went to break. First quarter was really sloppy, a lot of punts, a lot of turnovers. But that second quarter, both teams looked to figure it out a little bit and really turn it on. And the Warriors managed to put up 13 points in the quarter.
I think as a Warriors fan, what's frustrating is really the Warriors offense figured it out. The Cardinals offense never really did.
Sure.
They were really struggling most of that game until that kick return by Strickland got them down at
inside
the
the
15-yard line or
yep.
so. So right then, that was when they had their biggest play of the game was on the run. Gorshwitz, the next run, I believe, the next two plays, took one in. That was really their only big play at this point. They've had a few here and there, but that was the one. So I think it's got to be frustrating as a Warriors fan and on the Warriors sideline, but also at the same time, it's got to be the promising. The fact that that's the only thing was a mistake you made is the only reason they've really done anything to you. Whereas the Warriors, their offense, it's grinding.
Yeah.
It's not usually hitting those big plays, except for that pass to that Davis pass to Troy Mount was a big play. That's one of the bigger plays we've seen this season.
It's interesting that you say that it's grinding too, because those first couple of series, they really opened up this playbook. They really spread it out. A lot of wide receivers out deep, a lot of passing attempts, not a lot of completions, but they were really trying to spread the ball around. And then a couple series later, they went right back to the wing tee. So really interesting. They've shown they can do a little bit of both and have some success.
I think that's the part that we're like, it's almost strange because you come out here, we try to say, this is what you can expect from their offense. This is what you can expect. And then they come out in the first 2 or 3 drives, they're gunslinging. They come out, they're looking to score points. It didn't really work out for them. I think it's at one point you just don't have their weapons at receiver. Without Paris Alston, that's a huge weapon at receiver.
Right.
Really just in the slot, any position that really he makes a huge difference out there. So when you're missing that, it's a lot different for Logan Davis to look to receivers like Troy Mount. They're good. They don't get that separation. They don't have that huge breakaway speed that you see from Paris Alston. So that's just interesting to see the differences in terms of how their offense is run when Paris Alston's out there. And now you see it. I think they realize we don't have the resources to run this. We got to stick with this wing tee.
Sure.
And then they realize Gage Todd
is absolutely
in this game right now. So maybe we should give him the ball.
It's certainly interesting to see the dichotomy of the offense, I guess you could say, how they are so heavily in one scheme and then so heavily in another. I think back 3 years ago when Larry Jost was the head coach. That's exactly what he told me he wanted to do. I went to a practice and I said, Coach, what do you want to do offensively? He said, I don't know. Whatever works. We're going to try a little bit of everything. And that seems to be exactly what head coach A.J. Webley's doing here tonight.
And it was a little strange, too. When we first took this job, that first year was actually Larry Jost's last year.
Right.
And he had his son on the team as one quarterback, and he had Dylan Sharp, who played last year, as another quarterback. And we kind of went into the season where a 2-quarterback system, how's that going to work? It's usually you see a 2-quarterback system, and they always say the old adage is if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't really have a quarterback.
Right.
But in that system, we saw them both do different things.
Right.
We did. We saw them run different plays. And now we're seeing Logan Davis kind of take over that role completely. We haven't seen – Paris has been hurt, but we really haven't seen anyone else back there. And I think Logan Davis is starting to find a lot more confidence and a lot more comfortability back there than we really saw the quarterbacks get in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting because the first game when Paris was healthy and I talked to head coach A.J. Webley before the season, and he said, straight up, it's going to be a rotation between Paris Alston and Logan Davis. The first game, we saw that a little bit, but then Paris Elston got hurt. He kind of played, kind of didn't. He didn't really come back. But, I mean, like you mentioned, this last week and this week especially, Logan Davis is proving he can make the throws, but he can also do all the running as well. He can really handle both aspects of this offense.
I think at this point they're starting to figure out what they have in Davis.
Yeah.
You got to think at the same time. They practiced with Dylan Sharp as their quarterback. He was their quarterback. And then their backup quarterback last year was Paris Elston.
Yeah.
That was their two options last year.
Right.
We didn't see Logan Davis. We didn't see him out here. So he didn't get to run. I mean, he worked out probably with the team, but then COVID hits.
Right.
And he was a baseball player.
Right.
So at the same time, you got all that going on. You have COVID hit. You don't have the opportunity to come play. You don't really get to play catch with your receivers. You don't get to get that friendship, that companionship. So you can see that when he's out there. At first he wasn't super comfortable, but now it seems like he's really starting to find his own in the pocket. He's starting to understand what he needs to do to create throws, and I think the game is slowing down.
Absolutely,
if that makes sense. You see him playing at a varsity level, now,
right? And
that's really cool to see.
Right. All you need to hear for Logan Davis, he's doubled his touchdown production of the season here tonight. He had 2 touchdowns coming into the game, 1 rushing and 1 passing. He's gotten another rushing and another passing here tonight. So he's up to 4 touchdowns on the year for Logan Davis. He's having a nice season, and the Warriors look to maintain this 13-7 lead and get their first win of the season here over the Big Rapids Cardinals. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. Both teams have come out onto the field for stretching. When we come back, we're going to look at some keys here for the second half. You're listening to Chippewa Hills Warrior Football on Y102 WIBR Big Rapids, broadcasting live from the Isabella Bank Sports Studio.
Thank you. How long now? Just locked in 14 locked in the house. They don't want to be doing it anymore. They want to be out with their friends, hitting people, making big plays.
Okay.
Hold off. I'm with you.
Ty Jones. Logan Davis, Dylan Sharp.
Well, going from some negative news with Grant to some more positive news, the MHSA allowing more fans in the upcoming weeks. The updated policy will go into effect on October 9th, which will allow more fans. The MHSA announced this Wednesday any school hosting an outdoor venue with fixed seating. 30%.
Logan Davis as a defender.
And for Big Rapids, playing a home game at 30% of its maximum.
This just out, the average age of a vehicle on the road today is just over 11 years. That's impressive because it takes regular maintenance and solid repair work to keep a vehicle running well that long. At Quality Car and Truck Repair, that's what we do. We keep vehicles running their best for as long as possible. We're still changing oil, performing regular maintenance, and doing repairs on vehicles much older than that. Keep your vehicle
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet.
Cardinals are receiving the second half kickoff.
Test drive. To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
The kickoff. What are some keys here for this Warriors team, offensively and defensively, to maintain this lead and potentially grow it even and really just hold on to this victory?
Yes, I think some keys we see here are going to be not turning the ball over. That's going to be one thing. Again, this is something we've seen. Here we are, real quick. We see them flipping the field again, having to go to the right side for their kickoff. And that's something we've seen 2 times now this year where they start the second half and they go to the wrong side. So that's just kind of a funny thing. Nothing quite right this year.
Right.
But I think another key, and then on the offensive side for me, we were talking about it a little bit. Logan Davis. He's really just, we didn't know what to expect this year. We didn't know, we've seen Dylan Sharp, we've seen Ty Jones. We saw those for 2 years. We didn't know what to expect out of Logan Davis.
Right.
If he keeps up this level of play, he's one of the better quarterbacks we've seen since we've been here.
Absolutely.
He's throwing the ball, running the ball. He's really carrying a heavy load for this team, especially without one of his biggest weapons.
Yeah.
So I think he is the key in this second half, just seeing what you really have in Logan Davis here.
And fielded at the 31-yard line there for the Cardinals was Storms Williams. Fielded at the 40-yard line. That's where the Cardinals offense is going to take over here for the second half. Want to remind you at the end of this game to stick around for the Chippewa Hills School District post-game report. And Big Rapids offense comes out onto the field. They're looking to either tie this ballgame up or preferably take the lead here.
I think like one of the ways Logan Davis could also have another impact on this game, we talked about this a little bit, is he really does excel on the defensive side. He almost has a more natural ability on the defensive side. You see him really, he's not the biggest player, but you see him make some hit stick type plays, if you will, and it's just really impressive to see. I want to see if maybe he can get an interception to go with what he's already done today. Add that to his resume.
Alley in the gun. 2 receivers to his left, man in motion. He hands it off, running around the right side is Gorchowitz, and he gets brought down just past the line of scrimmage. Tackle there by number 35, Donovan Todd. And we haven't called Todd's name too often here this season, but he's played well defensively, especially for this Warriors team. That'll bring up 2nd and 7. Want to remind you, tonight's game is brought to you by Quality Car and Truck Repair, the area's only AAA service center, 220th Avenue, just west of 131 in Big Rapids. Alley in the gun. 3 interceptions for Sam Alley here. No touchdowns yet. He hands it off. Gorshowitz running right up the middle. Met right there. Nice tackle. I believe that was Donovan Todd once again. And it was 2 back-to-back nice plays there by Todd. That'll bring up 3rd and 6.
2 Todds tearing it up out here. We got
Gage and Donovan.
Tale of 2 Todds.
That is beautiful. That should be a book.
I think it's really cool that Gage Todd's having the game he's having too.
Yeah.
I think we're just really starting to see these players kind of come into their own.
Absolutely.
They really are. And you're starting to see them get a little more comfortable at this level, playing at this speed. And it's really cool to see on both the offensive and defensive side.
Man in motion, Alley keeps it himself. He'll be close to the first down marker. I believe he was just about a yard short. He was saying that he never touched the ground. He was still on his feet, but he was brought down, so it'll be 4th. And they're going to say 4th and inches realistically, and Sam Alley stays on the field. He does punt for this team as well, but I think head coach Scott Seltzer is going to send his offense out there to go for it.
Cardinals run a really unique punting style. 2 punters out there. You don't really know who they're going to snap it to.
Yeah.
It's just they could go for it anytime. It's just a very strange punt.
Alley gets the snap right up the middle. He gets just enough for it. Needed a yard, got 2. A couple of more late blocking there this time for the Cardinals offense, but it will be first down, Big Rapids.
And I mean, like I said earlier, you can't complain about someone really trying to hold a block, but some of these blocks are they're going downfield 10 yards after the whistle, and it's hey, at least they're holding the block and they're really, they're putting in that effort. But at the same time, it's just a little funny to see it happening after the play.
Yep. Alley in the gun, 1 back to his left. Couple receivers split out deep. Man in motion, Alley hands it off, running around the left side now. Not much going there. It was Prince. Donovan Todd once again, another tackle there behind the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. 2nd and 11, excuse me. Want to remind you, tonight's game is brought to you by Isabella Bank. Since 1903, Isabella Bank has been lending a hand in support of various schools, service, and civic organizations to make our communities a better place to live. Isabella Bank. Bank local. Bank anywhere. So about 3 minutes have passed so far here in the 3rd quarter. Cardinals are driving. 2nd and 11 now for Sam Alley. He gets the snap, hands it off right up the middle, and brought down hard was Cooley. He did pick up about 5 yards, but Cooley gets brought down hard. 3rd and 6 now. Once again, I mean, we've reiterated it a few times here tonight. It's just good to see Jack Cooley out there after the injury that he suffered earlier on in the ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things where, especially this season, it's just such a weird time.
Right.
On top of everything, an injury would just be devastating. So after you finally, these players were waiting all offseason. They finally got that call a couple weeks ago.
3rd and 7, Alley fakes the handoff, keeps it himself. He's got a man to pitch to if he needs, and he's going to run out of bounds at the 50-yard line. Nothing going there. Loss of about 5 yards there on 3rd and 7. That'll bring up 4th and 12, and not a great play there by Sam Alley.
I mean, really, Sam Alley, as much as it's a bad play by him, I couldn't see who it was on the sideline. Strung him out really well. Look at maybe Miller over there strung him out and really just made it so he had no chance to do anything.
Yeah.
He tried to turn it up multiple times. Even if he did pitch it to his pitch man,
it's
a bigger loss.
Right,
So at that point, he's just cut my losses and get out of bounds. So a really nice defensive play on that run.
And the Cardinals will punt. Ball hits the ground, but it's a nice punt. Goes out of bounds at the 21-yard line, let's say, and that's where the Warriors offense will take over. So as they come out onto the field, we're going to take a quick 30-second break. You're listening to Chippewa Hills Warrior Football on Y102 WIBR Big Rapids. We're broadcasting live from the Isabella Bank Sports Studios.
The average age of a vehicle on the road today is just over 11 years. That's impressive because it takes regular maintenance and solid repair work to keep a vehicle running well that long. At Quality Car and Truck Repair, that's what we do. We keep vehicles running their best for as long as possible. We're still changing oil, performing regular maintenance, and doing repairs on vehicles much older than that. Keep your vehicle in shape. Call Quality Car and Truck Repair, 220th Avenue and Perry, just west of 131, Big Rapids.
On there on first down for Alston.
He comes in for a play and then heads right back out.
He seems to be very frustrated on the sideline as well. We'll continue to monitor that. 2nd and 4 for Logan Davis. Under center, turns around, hands it off right at the middle, breaks through the defense. That is Chad Sheldon, Mr. First Down, gets close to the 50-yard line. Nice run there by Chad Sheldon.
A huge run. And now we're starting to see this Warriors team bust out a few really big ones. And I think at this point, this is the chance where their offensive line has to really just dominate the rest of this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see they've got the size, you see they've got the ability, and they're really opening holes to their running backs at this point. I mean, Logan Davis running at will when he wants at points, Gage Todd running at will, and then right there, Chad Sheldon really they've really had 3 really reasonable running backs so far.
Mr. First Down.
Mr. First Down, yes, true.
Ball spotted at the 49-yard line. Logan Davis hands it off. Gage Todd, not much going there. That might be the first time I've ever seen Gage Todd get brought down by the first defender. Only gets back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10. And Paris Alston does come back out onto the field. I was kind of watching Paris Alston between plays there. He was certainly frustrated. I wonder if he wants to be out here. You can only imagine. I don't know Paris personally, but I can only imagine he's a competitor who just wants to be out there. And especially if he's dressed here tonight, you got to imagine he wants to be out with his team.
Especially senior season.
Yeah,
you really want to go out there and show out. I mean, he's a dynamic player who just wants to be on the field at all
Absolutely.
times. And he can make a big play happen. I mean, he's been out here for 3 plays. You're always scared that's going to be a big play.
2nd and 10 now as the handoff is fumbled. Davis jumps back onto it. That was Paris Alston who was supposed to get the handoff. A little bit of miscommunication. That'll bring up 3rd and about 16 there.
So we see him switch out the ball. You wonder if maybe the ball's a little wet out there because we've seen a couple fumbles. I mean, on the punt, too, we saw a bad snap. So maybe the balls are just getting a little wet. We did talk rain a little earlier.
Yeah.
But nothing crazy. So now it's probably just getting a little cold.
Right, absolutely. It's certainly getting chilly. Davis turns around, fakes the handoff, keeps himself, rolls right, throws right, looking for Troy Mount, but the pass falls incomplete.
That first pass for a touchdown.
And that'll be a 4th down.
I don't know if you saw that. Davis rolling to his right. He let go of that pass. The reason he didn't really get to put his all into it, he had to make a sort of jump pass. And he took a pretty solid shot as he made that throw there.
So it looks like the Warriors are sending their punt unit out now. 4th and 15, they will punt it away. Back deep to receive for the Cardinals. There is Xander Prince, the sophomore.
So here comes the punt formation.
And for the Warriors,
will be crashing from the end here.
that's Gavin Miller keeping it running around the right side. He was not going to be able to get the punt off. Gavin Miller breaks through the first tackle, but just stumbles out of bounds. I don't think that was an intentional fake. I just think he decided to keep it himself so the punt wasn't blocked. But more special teams miscues for the Warriors.
I mean, it's just a broken record at this point. I mean, if that's the play you're going for, I mean, that's a huge distance to ask someone to run there from that punt. And it looked like it wasn't a fake. It looked like it was supposed to be a punt. They just had 3 guys crash off the edge. That came untouched.
Well, like you say, if it was supposed to be a punt or a fake, there was definitely miscommunication because all the blockers went downfield.
Exactly. He's sitting out there. So that's what makes you think that they thought that was going to be booted away. And it really, so now starting on their side of the 50 again.
Allie hands it off right up the middle for Gorshowitz. He picks up a handful of yards. A nice first down carry as we approach 5 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Score remains 13-7. James Young and Bastian Taylor here from top Taggart Field as both teams are looking to get their first win here of the early season. 2nd and 6 now. Ball spotted at the 43-yard line now.
Yeah, you're right. All touchdowns were scored in the second quarter there.
Alley in the gun, one back to his left. That's Jack Cooley. Alley gets a snap, hands it off Cooley up the middle, and he gets brought down. Picks up about 2 yards, so another nice little run there. That'll bring up 3rd and short.
So it feels, when I'm thinking, you feel the anxiety ticking in, the clock's running down if you're this Cardinals team. But at the same time, you got to look up. There's still over 15 minutes left in this game. You can't abandon that run. You can't give up on that and just start throwing the ball constantly. So they're continuing with this run. They're just trying to grind it out, but the offensive line's push is just not quite pushing that Warriors D-line back.
Ball spotted at the 41-yard line of the Warriors. Alley in the gun. Hands it off with Gorshowitz, and another nice hit there by Donovan Todd. That was actually Jack Cooley on the run. He'll be close to the first down marker, but they're going to say 4th down, and the Cardinals' offense is staying out onto the field.
Now, last time on 4th and about this distance, I believe they just had Sam Alley on the QB run straight up the middle. Just a QB power, really. I think he had a fullback behind him in the pistol pushing him as well.
And they do the same thing here tonight, and Alley, I believe, picks it up just barely. It'll be close.
That's up to the mark, honestly. That was a close one there.
Forward progression will get him close. I personally think he got it. He ended up about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but I personally think that he did pick it up. And they will say that he did pick it up. Man, if he needed a yard, he got a yard and a half. Not much more than that.
Oh, it was a yard and 1 inch. That was barely across that. That was very, very close there. Almost looked like it wouldn't be a first down there for a minute. Almost looked like that. But once again, on that 4th one, they just couldn't get that push against that defensive line. When you have those big boys in there,
absolutely,
they're really holding it down for that defensive line. That makes it way easier on everybody else.
Man in motion gets the handoff. Gorshowitz running around the right side, and he gets brought down hard there. Carl Whipple was the man who with the tackle there. I believe that was Jason Aldrich out there on the tackle as well, the sophomore. We haven't called his name too many times this season, but a nice play there by the youngster. That'll bring up 2nd and 7 now.
If you're a linebacker, wouldn't it be nice to starting off your first season as a linebacker and the guys you're reading for keys in front of you are Carl Whipple, Colby Rosset. Those are some players that you'd like to have in front of you, especially when you're just getting accustomed to what it's like to play high school football.
2nd and 7, Alley hands it off right up the middle for Cooley. Picks up about 2 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and 5. Want to remind you real quick, tonight's game is brought to you by Bader & Sons Company at greentractors.com. Outstanding in their field with sales of new and used John Deere farm and lawn equipment, parts, certified service technicians, plus brands like Steel and Air Wren's. So we just ticked over the 2 minutes left mark here in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 5 now, ball spotted at the 31-yard line of the Warriors as Sam Alley and the Big Rapids Cardinals offense looks to convert. Man in motion. Fakes a handoff. Alley keeps it himself right up the middle. Nice run there by Alley, but he gets brought down right at the 20-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle potentially there by Gavin Miller, but not until Sam Alley picks up the first down.
Really, Sam Alley's best play of the game so far that we've seen. He usually, he's one of those players that they rely on heavily. He can rip off a 75-yard run here and there, but so far he's been bottled up for the majority of this game.
I don't know too much about the phases of the moon, but it looks like a nice full moon out there tonight. Absolutely beautiful over atop Taggart Field. Alley in the gun, one receiver to his left, back behind him. Alley hands it off right up the middle. Not much going there. Gabe Miller in on the tackle. Gorchowitz with the run only got back to the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 as we have 1 minute left to go now in the 3rd quarter.
Always talk about the weather and the moon here. It's a little bit of a stark contrast from the first 2 weeks where
absolutely.
We're facing dead into the sun. I'm running the camera over here and I can't see anything. It's blinding. And then this week we get to play under a beautiful night sky, under the lights at a college stadium. It's just a really nice atmosphere.
Absolutely. Today. Sam Alley in the gun. One back to his left. That's Cooley. He gets a snap, hands it off. Cooley right up the middle. And a nice carry there by Cooley. It looked like he brought down only for a yard or two. He ends up picking up 6 or 7. He actually picks up 7 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and 3. That may have been the final play here of the third quarter. Let's see what the Cardinals' pace is. 10 seconds on the clock.
Well, Jimmy, just to fill you in on the moon.
Yes, please fill me in on the moon.
My research department, also known as my lovely mother, texted me and said yesterday was a 99% full.
Does that mean today is a 1% or 100%?
I don't know exactly, but it sounds like you're pretty close. So that would explain
I'll take it.
Is looking like it is today.
Thank you, Mama Taylor, for that. As we head to the fourth quarter, the Chippewa Hills Warriors up 13-7 here over the Big Rapids Cardinals. We're going to take a quick 30-second break. You're listening to Chippewa Hills Warrior Football on Y102 WIBR Big Rapids, broadcasting live from the Isabella Bank Sports Studios.
Home is where the heart is. Since 1903, we've called the heart of Michigan our home. When you bank with us, your money stays right here, invested back into the communities where we work, play, and live, promoting economic growth and community service. At Isabella Bank, we care about our community because this is our home too. Isabella Bank. Bank local, bank anywhere. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's going to be 4th down, 4th and inches for the Cardinals offense, and you got to imagine they're going to go for it here as they look to tie the game up.
I'd imagine they just go back to that QD power.
Sure.
I mean, last time they didn't quite have the push. You'd like a little bit more push if you're running that again. But it's what they've run.
It's worked twice so far.
Time. It's worse. So you'd imagine that's what they continue. And Sam Alley's the hot hand. That's who they usually keep it in his hands here.
4th and short, and Sam Alley, they were going to go for it, but he fumbles the snap, excuse me. He did pick up the snap, I believe, but I'm not sure if he had enough for the first down, and he doesn't. So it'll be a turnover on downs. The Warriors offense will take over. Nice stand there by the defense.
You know, and you'd like to say it's the defense, but it's another almost sloppy play. So you wonder what happens there. Sam Alley, usually very reliable, someone who's been playing, who's been around. I mean, like we said, they put it in his hands every time on 4th down, and that time it didn't work out for him quite. So that's very unfortunate for a team. That drive was really nice for them, probably their best of the game, and to lose it at the 10-yard line.
Ball spotted at the Warrior 10. Davis under center, turns around, hands it off. And Paris Alston reversing field a handful of times, manages to pick up about 4 yards as Paris Alston displays the shiftiness there.
So you begin to wonder a little bit, like, why now with Paris Alston?
Sure.
Like, what, in this 4th quarter, maybe it's because they were saving him for this. They were like, hey, at the end of the game, we only get him for a little bit. Maybe we need him for this quarter when we really want to.
I wonder if he was on a snap count of some sort.
Something like a little pitch count here, because it is a little strange.
As Davis hands it off, running around the left side there. Gage Todd once again, and he gets over the 40-yard line and pushed out of bounds near the 46-yard line. Gage Todd, what an incredible run.
If Gage Todd's family is listening, I apologize. He can bust off big runs. Earlier I said
you will never slander him again.
Today, all he's done is prove me wrong in that, and I'm happy he has, because I thought he was just a between the tackles, but no, today he's showing he's making big plays. And now I think everyone at home is starting to understand why you and I have been so high in him all season. Every time we leave a game, all we talk about in the car ride is Gage Todd was really good today. It was really fun.
Yeah.
And so we're starting to see that again.
He's only a junior, too. He'll have a great year again next year for the Warriors. As Chad Sheldon, Mr. First Down, gets the carry on first down. And the ball pops out, actually, as he was trying to fight defenders. Picked up, going the other way is Prince. He's going to try and shake some defenders. Gets brought down from behind at the 14-yard line. So just a complete deflation here of this momentum. Chad Sheldon was fighting for yardage, and the ball just popped out. And that was Xavier Prince who returned it all the way down to the 14-yard line. So it's like the Cardinals' offense never left the field.
I'm sitting here in shock on that play, because you started off, after that play by Gage Todd, and then you get that looks a great run on first down by Chad Sheldon. You think that's a first down almost on first down. That's 9 yards. And then next thing you see is a huge return by Prince down the sideline. And puts them right back, like you said, where they got the ball or ended in their last drive.
So the Cardinals take their first time out here of the second half.
Tonight, dinner comes from CL Pizza. Take out two 14-inch delicious one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and a 2-liter of pop for only 29 bucks. Every pizza from the CL Pizza Company in Canadian Lakes is made from scratch with fresh ingredients, so your taste buds are always a-dancing. Take out dinner any night of the week from CL Pizza Company. Two 14-inch one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and a 2-liter of cola. Soda or pop. Check the full menu at clpizzaco.com and follow CL Pizza on Facebook and Instagram.
Gingrich Tire Center reminds drivers now is the time to make sure your tires are ready for the winter driving season. Test your tread depth in a few different spots to see if they're wearing evenly. Make sure that they're properly inflated, and the best thing you can do is get your new snow tires now. Get your car winter ready from Gingrich Tire Center of Remus, your one-stop, on-the-spot auto service station with a complete line of quality tires and auto services. At Gingrich Tire Center, they never tire of tires.
For senior quarterback Sam Alley. That is a huge touchdown run there, and that really makes up for the 3 interceptions he's thrown here earlier in the ballgame.
And now it's probably going to be on the leg of Sam Alley to put this team ahead.
Absolutely.
He used his legs right there, obviously, but now he's going to do it in a different way. Try to kick this extra point and really put his team back in the lead. And think about it. The Warriors dominated most of this game.
Yeah.
And just turnovers and some bad time plays have really brought the Cardinals right back.
Sam Alley in for the extra point. It is up. There is a flag, so let's check that. A couple of flags, actually. One on each sideline. The officials never actually signaled if it was good. It looked like it went through for me. But let's check the penalty.
I believe it went through Sam Alley with the...
and it's going to be offsides actually on the Warriors, so the Cardinals can choose to either re-kick or potentially half the distance to the goal line if they want to go for 2 here. Sam Alley has been fairly reliable. He's 2 for 2, I guess you could say, only one of them counting, but 2 for 2 on extra points here. So let's see what head coach Scott Seltzer decides to do.
Sam Alley has always stood out to me as one of the better kickers in this area, in this league. So I think they're very confident in letting him have this opportunity to kick. He's got a very strong boot. And it's nice to know that even if he does miss here, you're still tied.
So Alley in for the extra point.
The snap, the hold is down.
The kick is up, and it is good. Not a lot of distance on it, but it is through the upright. So the Cardinals take a 14-13 lead here over the Chippewa Hills Warriors. We're going to take a quick 30-second break as both teams set up for the kickoff. You're listening to Chippewa Hills Warrior Football on Y102 WIBR Big Rapids, broadcasting live from the Isabella Bank Sports Studios.
Elementary school in the Chippewa Hills School District. My Ability is an integrated behavior and reading model where we improve behavior by teaching explicit skills and then in turn increase our instructional time so that we can impact reading and make it better across the board. The more time on task we can have for all students, the better outcomes educationally. And that gives our teachers the chance to do what they're so gifted at doing as far as educating and getting the best outcomes from our students. For more information, visit chsd.us.
A huge completion. Instead, it'll be second down.
You saw it developing. You saw Donovan Todd run a pretty nice route. Got a really clean release. piece off there, and then had the space. I mean, that's just a throw. It's the timing. Once again, we talked about it, just not quite there with your receivers, and right there, that would have been a huge play for this Warriors team.
2nd and 10, ball spotted at the 32-yard line. Davis in that wing T formation. Gets snapped, turns around, hands it off. Gage Todd right through his defender. Gage Todd only picked up a yard or two, but man, he looked like a bowling ball on that play. That'll bring up 3rd and 8. Want to remind you, tonight's game is also brought to you by CL Pizza Company in Canadian Lakes. Get 2 one-topping 14-inch pizzas with breadsticks and a 2-liter of pop for only $29. Order for takeout tonight at CL Pizza Company in Canadian Lakes. I want to thank CL Pizza Company for sponsoring tonight's game. They're a new sponsor here tonight.
Yeah, one we haven't dealt with too much, but going to have to try that pizza.
Absolutely. As Davis hands it off, running on the right side is Paris Alston, and a nice run there. Alston picks up the 3rd down, and that is just how dynamic he can be. First met behind the line of scrimmage, and he picks up the 1st down.
It's unfortunate the fans here only get to experience a few plays of Paris Alston's season here, because he really is that electrifying player where he can make a 2-score game in 3 plays.
Yeah.
He just is that much fun to watch. So it's really unfortunate they don't get to enjoy that like we have.
Paris Alston gets the handoff once again right up the middle. Paris Alston dives for that 1st down. He'll be close. And Paris Alston just doesn't say no. I mean, we talk about Gage Todd's never say die attitude. Paris Alston never stops fighting either.
And whether is Paris Alston going to be like a bit of a finisher for this team? Because that's not really been his MO.
Sure.
He's kind of just been the finesse guy.
Right.
His older brother actually was more the finisher in Quran last year and the year before. So really interesting to see Paris maybe taking on this role. At the end of the game, they just want the ball in his hands.
2nd and 2, Gage Todd takes it on the left side. Gage Todd has one man to beat, gets pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line, but Gage Todd is having the game of his life here at Top Taggart Field.
Unfortunately, I don't have the stat line for Gage Todd, but it's everywhere on the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has been everywhere. So another huge run. I mean, we saw it right before the Sheldon fumble, so let's hope they follow it up with a little bit cleaner of a play here this time. But that's 2 on the last 2 drives. 2 huge runs by Gage Todd.
Ball spotted at the 30-yard line now. 8:15 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10. Davis under center. Turns around. Hands it off. Paris Alston following his blockers. Cuts upfield. Paris Alston still fighting. And Paris Alston needs a handful of Cardinals to bring him down. He picks up 5 yards. So this combination between Paris Alston and Gage Todd, it reminds me a lot of Karan and Karante Lowry.
It really does. You get the vibes a lot off of that. Because, I mean, when we saw it last year, unfortunately, Karan spent most of the season injured, wasn't playing. We didn't really get to see him up to full speed really at all last year. But the year before, they had a 1-2 punch that was really dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. As Paris Alston gets this 2nd down carry, not much going there, met right at the line of scrimmage by a handful of Cardinals. The ball pops out late, but they are going to say he was down. That'll bring up 3rd and 10. Excuse me, 3rd and 5.
Scary sight, though, for the Warriors to even see that ball on the ground again. They don't need any more scares like that.
Absolutely.
They've done so much work on offense. And once again, we talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast. Between the 20s, they're doing great work. But once they get down to the 20-yard line, it just seems like they just get butterfingers, or they get a little, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's just they've had too many turnovers down at this end of the field.
3rd and 5 now with 7 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter. It is getting chillier out there as well. 41 right now feels like 37. Davis under center, turns around, fakes the handoff, keeps himself, and not a smart decision there by Logan Davis. He's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. That will bring up 4th and 6.
A strange little play call there. I mean,
Justin Gorchevich doing his job.
I think at that point, if you at this point, you know you're going forward on 4th down.
Sure.
If I'm not mistaken here, because now it's 4th and 6. That was a 3rd and 5. I think almost Gage Todd has to be a little bit of the answer there. Maybe Paris Alston. No offense to Logan Davis, but it looks like they were really keying on that, expecting something like that. Maybe get a few yards on that first play, and now this 4th down will be a little easier.
Davis under center, turns around, hands it off. Paris Alston, ball pops out once again. And I think the Cardinals jumped on it.
Cardinals are ecstatic.
And indeed they do, so it'll be Big Rapids ball.
Turnover.
Either way, Paris Alston wouldn't have gotten the 1st down, so either way it'll be Cardinal ball. But that is just a killer once again.
The fumble doesn't particularly stand out. It's that 3rd down play. is what really stands out to me here. Just because, I mean, if you give it to Gage Todd, if you do something like that, even a 2-yard run turns that into a 4th and 3, opens up your playbook a lot more. It makes it a lot less. Paris Olsen doesn't have to try to make a Superman play there and fumble the ball like he did there. Really, the fumble, really not a huge deal. Would have been a turnover on downs anyway, just trying to make something happen.
So the Cardinals can sit on the ball now. 6 minutes left to go. They're up 1. Allie in the gun, hands it off right up the middle.
To Cooley.
Cooley was the one who took that carry, picked up a yard.
Looks like this Cardinals offense might be content just trying to run down some of this clock. But at the same time, their offensive line hasn't had that push really up to this point against this defensive line. Even right there, only a 2-yard gain. The push isn't there, so they kind of need a couple first downs. They can't really just run and run like this Warriors team has tonight.
Allie in the gun, 2 receivers to his right. Gorchevich, excuse me. We were corrected how to pronounce that. Is the back next to Allie. He's taking all the time he can. 5:30 left. Allie gets a snap, fakes the handoff, keeps himself running on the right side, breaks through a couple defenders, and Sam Alley's still on his feet. Sam Alley over midfield, and he is all the way down, and he gets pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Sam Alley has taken over this ball game.
On the far side of the field to us.
I'm honestly a little surprised there wasn't a flag at the end of that play.
Yeah.
A little bit of a late hit on the sideline.
Yeah.
It was kind of close. Maybe I was seeing it a little different over here, but it looked like that definitely could have been a flag.
Absolutely.
We talked about it earlier.
And they actually did just throw a flag. They did just throw a flag.
There we are.
Yeah, they're going to say unnecessary roughness. It was definitely late. Sam Alley was about 2 yards out of bounds when he was laid out onto his back.
And you hate to say you're making plays that cost you a game, but right there, that's a play that might cost you a game.
Yeah.
So it's, again, another one of those undisciplined plays you just can't have.
Want to remind you, tonight's game is brought to you by Chippewa Hills School District. Are you ready to become a Warrior? Visit chsd.us for more. Also brought to you by Quality Car and Truck Repair, the area's only AAA service center, 228th Avenue, just west of 131 in Big Rapids.
In the red zone.
So the ball is brought all the way down to the Warrior 20-yard line. They made a stop defensively a few series ago. They're going to need to do the same here if they want to try and have this ball game. 5:15 left.
Clock stopped at 5:15 left.
Sam Alley in the gun. A couple receivers split out wide.
Alley taking a look at the defense.
Alley gets a snap, hands it off. Gorchevich right up the middle and breaks one tackle, gets brought down there. Nice tackle there. I believe that was Donovan Todd. No, that was Gavin Miller. Nice tackle there by Miller, but not until Gorchevich picks up 3 yards. Tonight's game is also brought to you by Isabella Bank. Since 1903, Isabella Bank has been lending a hand in support of various schools, service, and civic organizations to make our communities a better place to live. Isabella Bank, bank local, bank anywhere.
Sam Alley continuing to make big plays for this team. That's just been, he could have had to that first half a rough 3 interceptions, really could have packed it in, but no, he came through and in the second half has had 2 huge runs that have changed the whole time.
Ball spotted at the 17-yard line. Alley hands it off. Cooley right up the middle. Nice run there by Cooley. He'll be close to the first down marker. I believe he's about a yard short. That'll bring up 3rd and 1 now for the Cardinals offense. Want to thank Bader & Sons Company at greentractors.com. Outstanding in their field with sales of new and used John Deere farm and lawn equipment, parts, certified service technicians, plus brands like Steel and Air Wren's. Also want to thank Gingrich Tire. Are you weather ready? Just stop in Gingrich Tire in downtown Remus or visit online at gingrichtire.com today. So 3rd and 1 now. We've seen the quarterback power work a handful of times on 4th down. I wonder if they pull it out here for this 3rd down.
I can't imagine they want to take the ball in Sam Alley's hands at this point. I think they trust him, and the last time they did this, he pulled it off into a huge run. So I think they're going to continue that.
And they actually handed it off to Gorchevich, who gets brought down behind the line of scrimmage, so maybe they should have kept it.
So yeah, maybe they didn't, but maybe they should have. But at this point, now that's a huge play on the defensive side. I didn't see who made that play for the Warriors, but that is a huge tackle for loss there.
And the Warriors will take their first time out here of the second half, and we're going to keep it right here.
Home is where the heart is. Since 1903, we've called the heart of Michigan our home. When you bank with us, your money stays right here, invested back into the communities where we work, play, and live, promoting economic growth and community service. At Isabella Bank, we care about our community because this is our home too. Isabella Bank. Bank local, bank anywhere. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The end of the season clearance sale is going on now at Lakeside Motorsports and Nelson Speed Shop. You get clearance sale pricing on all pontoons, tri-toons, sport boat, and fishing boats left in stock. Buy your new boat now and save thousands. You get the best price of the year. Buy your new boat now and get free winterization and storage. Every major brand, every boat left in stock is priced to sell now during the end of season clearance sale at Lakeside Motorsports and Nelson Speed Shop.
The Warriors.
So Xavier Prince, Sam Alley, I mean, those two names.
A late flag comes in.
Might be a celebration type penalty here. Not sure.
The official was talking to Gavin Miller. I'm not sure what the flag was. And another flag as the official throws his hat now, this time in the direction of the Warriors bench.
And someone headed off the sideline.
That's Gavin Miller. He takes his helmet off in frustration as he's on the sideline now. And he's getting directed, I believe, potentially towards the locker room.
And the coach on the Chip Hill sideline immediately went crazy.
Let's check these penalties. What an incredible play. I mean, while we check these penalties, what an incredible play by Sam Alley to stay alive in the backfield.
I mean, we talked about plays that were hard to follow with a camera. I mean, I'm trying to track that play. What a play by Sam Alley. I mean, there was 2 points where he should have been sacked. 2 points where that play should have been over and the Warriors should have had the ball. But no, he, as a senior, took it upon himself. So, we just talked about it. He could have folded after that rough start to this game. But no, he's had this second half. It's probably one of the better halves of football he's played since he's been in high school.
Sure. And a great play there by Xavier Prince to stay alive. And both penalties actually are on the Warriors, I do believe. So Gavin Miller is heading to the locker room. He's out of the stadium.
So, Gavin Miller, really a player who's been relied on by this team now, out of the game.
3:17 left. I mean, the game's not over. That's a tough loss.
That's a tough loss, and just a really unfortunate little turn in this game. Something that's been a really fun game and a lot of good energy in it.
I have a question for you. You're up 7 right now. Scores 20-13. Would you try and go for 2 here to go up 9?
Personally, I go for 2. That's my choice here because you end the game right there.
Right.
That's my choice personally.
Because if you go up 8, the Warriors can still answer. The kick is up and good. There is another flag on the far sideline. I believe it's going to be offsides.
And it looks like they're just trying to block that kick, getting a little too antsy with that. But the way I look at it here, not a huge...
Yeah, they're actually going to decline it. They're just going to take the extra point. So score is 21-13, 3:17 left. We're going to take a quick 30-second break as both teams get set for the kickoff. You're listening to Chippewa Hills Warrior Football.
We're a mercantile bank, and we get what banking should be. More importantly, we get you. We get that you have a life, priorities, and hometown pride. We get that you have things that make you tick and things that tick you off. We get what you want and need from your bank. That's why we promise to think, act, and talk like real people who also have a life and share your priorities and hometown pride. Mercantile gets it. Member FDIC.
And so actually, welcome back here to Top Taggart Field. James Young and Bastian Taylor here. The Warriors of Chippewa Hills are down 13-21 here to the Big Rapids Cardinals. There were a couple of penalties after the touchdown, and it looks like they're going to be enforced here on the kickoff. It's fielded at the 45-yard line. Ball touched at the 5-yard line by Logan Davis, who takes it up the middle. Nice little return there. Ball pops out yet again, and I believe the Cardinals recover.
arms waving in the air.
And indeed it is Big Rapids ball. You got to imagine that will probably be the ball game here from Top Taggart Field.
I mean, and just another fumble. It's just another fumble. It's in this whole season. I mean, I don't have the exact tally, but I mean, we've had fumbles in every single game. I think 4 in 1 week.
Yeah.
So that's just, I mean, it just continues happening, and you just can't win games if you're giving up the ball every possession. You just can't do it. And we see it yet again.
And as good of a game as Logan Davis has had, and he has had a good game, that is his second fumble here at the ball game.
And that's a huge, huge issue.
Yeah. So ball spotted now at the 21-yard line of the Warriors. Sam Alley and the offense out on the field, and there is a flag before the snap. The flag is at the 10-yard line. And one official pointed towards the Warriors. I believe there were too many men on the field, and there was. So the Warriors here really just falling apart here against Big Rapids after being up 13 points at one point in the first half. They're now down 21-13 with 3:10 left in the ballgame.
I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, we've seen it every week now where they've had a chance to be in a game and they just
hands it off to Cooley right up the middle, who will pick up the first down. He's trying to get into that scoring column. He's down all the way at the 8-yard line, and another late flag. And it will be on the Warriors once again. The Warriors cannot stop the bleeding right now. They are emotional, and this ball game is theoretically it's not out of reach. They can get a stop or they can get a turnover, but man, all the momentum right now is with the Cardinals.
I mean, to go from a 13-0 lead to this, and then I mean, we've seen it. They've had opportunities, but they've just every opportunity they've had to beat themselves, they've done it. That's just what's happened. It really doesn't feel like the Cardinals are like winning the game in that sense. It feels like it's really just they're fighting themselves for the Warriors all night.
It's truly incredible. It feels like all of the air and momentum and emotion was just sucked right out of the Chippewa Hills sideline. A lot of frustrated players out there on the field and on the sideline. Ball spotted at the 4-yard line for Sam Alley and the Cardinals offense as they look to really seal this ball game. They're up 8 as we speak, taking their absolute sweet time here as Cooley is in the backfield next to Alley. And both teams get set. Sam Alley hands it off. Jack Cooley right up the middle. And Cooley fights. Let's see where they mark him. It looks like he's about a yard short, but another great effort there by Jack Cooley. That'll bring up 2nd and goal.
I mean, honestly, probably a situation for the Cardinals where they didn't really want to score on that play.
Yeah.
They're cool with just running this clock down, continuing to bring it down.
What are your thoughts? This might just be pointless, but Sam Alley's a good kicker. Is it crazy to just kneel it and kick an extra or a field goal? It's basically an extra point. I mean, the ball's spotted at the 2-yard line. Is that crazy? You can think about that after the second down play. You can get my answer. That seems like a smart play here for me. And instead, they hand it off to Cooley up the middle. Nothing going there. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. And the Warriors are going to call their second timeout here of the second half. We're going to keep it right here. What are your thoughts on that?
I think on the only reason, like the only obvious answer is playing high school football. Sometimes just the consistency isn't there. You don't want to mess up that snap.
Sure.
And then give the ball back and then maybe some – I mean, we saw – what did we see? 2 years ago at Newaygo.
Yeah. Incredible touchdown with 14 seconds left. Yeah.
Dylan Sharp and was it Ozawa Manito?
Yeah.
We didn't know what to expect. That play, I mean, that came out of nowhere. We had just started with the team, one of our second game, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, they were down, and we were, everyone was like, "Oh, it's over." Never say never, but it's over. And
then
in 18 seconds, they run 2 plays and win the game. Yeah. So, I mean, anything can happen there. So that's my only concern if I am on that big sideline.
Which makes sense too.
I don't want this snap to go in this cold, a little bit slick weather, go through the hands, and then you see a ball grim.
Sure.
I mean, we've seen so many turnovers and fumbles today.
How about this? 4-down territory? It's got to be, right?
Yeah, I guess it's got to be at this point. But for me, I'd kick the field goal. I'd just take the lead and get out of here after this third down.
Sure.
After third down. But it depends what the clock's looking like and things like that.
Want to remind you, tonight's game is brought to you by Mercantile Bank, home community, partnering with our neighbors and local businesses. Mercantile gets it, member FDIC. We're also brought to you by Lakeside Motorsports, name brand boats, Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, Indian Motorcycles, Polaris, and Can-Am snowmobiles, and off-road. Find it all at Lakeside, lakesidemotorsports.net. So 3rd and goal now. Ball spotted around the 3-yard line. Man in motion for Alley. He keeps it himself, running around the right side. He's going to try and find the edge, and he will get into the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals.
A later hit there by Paris Alston, but no flag.
So that is Sam Alley's second rushing touchdown here of the ball game, as Sam Alley is slow to get up in the end zone. He's hobbling now.
And it looked like a hard hit there at the end after the touchdown.
It's getting up a bit gimpy, but
Sam Alley is, I think it's fair to say Sam Alley is the entire offense here for the Cardinals. At least he was here tonight, and he's the special teams also, you know. Hopefully nothing too serious for Sam Alley.
It is hard to put a value on a kicker. I mean, you see it at the higher levels, but in high school it's a little bit challenging. Sam Alley is a very good kicker.
And Sam Alley does head off the field limping. You got to think his night's done no matter what here.
I mean, a minute 30 left on the clock, just not really much point putting in your star player, someone who's had an insane game tonight.
Alec Bowman in there for the kick. His kick is up and good. With 138, we're just going to keep it right here.
I suppose they have two really good kickers.
Yeah,
puts it right down the middle, not even a question about it.
Tonight, dinner comes from CL Pizza. Take out 2 14-inch delicious one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and a 2-liter of pop for only $29. Every pizza from the CL Pizza Company in Canadian Lakes is made from scratch with fresh ingredients, so your taste buds are always a-dancing. Take out dinner any night of the week from CL Pizza Company. 2 14-inch one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and a 2-liter of cola. Soda or pop. Check the full menu at clpizzaco.com and follow CL Pizza on Facebook and Instagram.
And it's hard to really describe how much of a collapse this was offensively and defensively for the Warriors, but this is a tough game.
In so many facets, this Warriors team had dominated for the majority of the game, and now they just the scoreboard does not replicate exactly how this game went. That's hard to be on that Warriors sideline. As a Warriors fan, as a coach, as a player, it's got to be really challenging because you had so many opportunities in this game to really put it away. I mean, there was a time in the first half where we were like, this game might be over if they score here.
It might be 13-0 final score.
Yeah, and so that was pretty crazy. I mean, it all started with that kick return.
Yeah.
Special teams really hurt this team in this game.
Bowman is the one out there for the kickoff with Sam Alley on the sideline. A nice kickoff, but it'll hop out of bounds. So the Warriors will get decent starting field position with 1:38 and 1 timeout remaining.
I mean, so you wonder at this point, what do you do here?
I'll ask you that. You're the color guy. What do you do here down 15 points?
So they opened up the offense to start the game, but they opened up the offense without their most dangerous weapon on the field. Now Paris Alston, who knows if he's healthy, if he's hurt, if he's what, but get him the ball is how I feel about it. So if you have to run 4 straight streaks and just send him on go routes, do what you got to do. Just get the ball in his hands and let him make something happen.
And the Cardinals are actually going to re-kick. The Warriors hoping to get a decent return here. And they're going to back the ball up. It was spotted 5 yards too far forward. And I totally agree. You need to get that first score because after that, onside kicks are it's much more possible in high school to get an onside kick.
I mean, it's just a delicate thing to do all the time. But if you're going to pull it off, the high school level is going to be.
And the kick goes out of bounds once again. So let's see if they decide to re-kick once again, and I think they will. Warriors really wanting to get a good return here.
I mean, you wonder who they're trying to keep the ball away from here. Logan Davis back there, Gage Todd.
Logan Davis has had a couple of nice returns for sure.
That is true, but we're used to seeing people kick the ball away from Paris Alston and or Carante Lowry last year. When I look at Logan Davis, I just don't see that breakaway speed. Hey, hopefully I'm wrong.
Sure.
But I just don't see that type of return game. So it's a little strange to see them so scared to just try to coffin corner this kick so much.
For the folks at home, I just want to remind you that he said that Gage Todd also didn't have breakaway speed. Gage Todd has had 3 or 4 runs of 30-plus yards.
He's had a very nice game, so I hope I'm wrong in that.
All right, third time's a charm here as the kick goes the other way, and it's actually fielded by Paris Olsen at the 40-yard line. Paris Olsen cuts around the left sideline, trying to follow some blockers, stiff arms one defender, and Paris Olsen gets out of bounds just near the 43-yard line. That was probably about as far of a return as you can get for only picking up 10 or so yards.
And it's only burnt 10 seconds, so it is what it is. But that's a really good job by this coverage team, because if there's one player you didn't want the ball in his hands, that was probably the player right there. And they did a good job stringing him out. He got pretty close to maybe finding a gap.
Sure.
And they did a good job of just making sure, use the sideline as your friend. And they did there.
1:28 left to go here in the ball game. Ball spotted at the 43-yard line now of the Cardinals, and they will open this offense back up. Gage Todd and Paris Olsen deep right. Logan Davis in the pistol. He gets a snap. He looks right, throws right, looking for Paris Olsen on a screen, and he gets it. Paris Olsen breaks one defender. Paris Olsen down to the 30, trying to follow some blockers, cuts upfield, and he gets brought down inbounds, though. Maybe not quite the smartest play there by Paris Olsen. You'd think you'd want him to step out of bounds
You'd like
there.
for your senior leader to make that conscious decision. But it's, again, he's trying to make something happen. He's just trying to get that touchdown. Sometimes that's been his one downfall as a player. Is sometimes just he doesn't know when to quit. He's never say die all the time. And that's another play right there where he probably could have just taken a step out of bounds and they'd be in a good position right now.
And the clock continues to run. 1:05 left to go here in the ballgame. Davis in the pistol. Couple receivers split both ways. Davis looks left, throws left, and not going to lie, that was not anywhere close. I don't know if that was miscommunication between him and Donovan Todd or what, but not a great throw there. That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
I really don't know what happened there. That had to be a miscommunication because Todd over there, he's running to the corner. He's running a straight-up corner on that one, and it looked like they thought it was a post almost on Logan Davis's side. So just a really big miscommunication and a really unfortunate miscommunication because that play, one incompletion, just cost them almost 20 seconds from the time that ball, where the play started. So that's a lot of time to lose.
Davis gets the snap, fakes a handoff, keeps himself running around the right side, jukes back infield. Ball pops out, but it'll go out of bounds. Nearly another fumble there. 7 seconds off the clock. 50 seconds left to go here in the ballgame. Possession will remain with the Warriors, but that was close once again.
That's 3 times tonight Logan Davis has coughed up the ball, and that's just for someone who's going to be holding the ball as much as your starting quarterback. That's just too many times to cough up the ball in a game.
3rd and 3 now. 4-down territory, obviously, as the Chippewa Hills Warriors are down 13-28 here against the Big Rapids Cardinals. 50 seconds left. Ball spotted at the 9-yard line.
It looks like they are bracketing Alston on that left side of the field.
Snap, look right, throw right, just through the hands of his receiver. High pass looking for Troy Mount. Falls incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down and another 5 seconds to tick off the clock.
So you've given me some hypotheticals here, but we're right here, 45 seconds left, 4th and 3. Now you can pick up a 1st down.
Yeah.
Now,
and you do have one timeout remaining.
And you do have one timeout. So do you here? If it's me, I'm getting the 1st down is my goal.
I agree.
Touchdowns obviously.
1st down, timeout.
But if you get that 1st down if you get the 1st down, you stop the clock. You can go spike it inside the 10, and then you still have it. There's so many things you can do there, but this 1st down's got to be the key here. Because if you don't get it here, it's over. It's just completely done.
Davis fakes a handoff. Ball pops out. Actually, it was Alston in at quarterback, and it's recovered by the Cardinals, and that will be the ball game. Recovered there by number 4, Jordan Lewis, the senior, is the one who jumps on it. And that is all she wrote here.
Really unfortunate because it looked like Alston actually had the 1st down. Just got a little excited. And the ball, as you pull it, you just got to – it's one of those things. Alston – you begin to question. Maybe Davis should have been. He's been there all game. He's been in there all game. Alston, a great athlete and a great player, but he wasn't warm. He hasn't been out there this whole time. So you wonder if maybe you should have just kept the ball in the hands of Logan Davis, who's been making plays all game.
And Sam Alley is back out at quarterback for the Cardinals to take this knee, and that will – we might see one more kneel down here, but that is likely all she wrote. Here from top Taggart Field, and nope, the teams will just head to the sidelines. So that will be the final score. Final score, 28-13. The Big Rapids Cardinals get their first win of the season over the Chippewa Hills Warriors as the Warriors fall to 0-3 here from top Taggart Field. We're going to take a quick 30-second break. When we come back, we'll have the Chippewa Hills School District post-game report. You're listening to Chippewa Hills Warrior Football on Y102 WIBR Big Rapids, broadcasting live from the Isabella Bank Sports Studios.
Tonight, dinner comes from CL Pizza. Take out two 14-inch delicious one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and a 2-liter of pop for only $29. Every pizza from the CL Pizza Company in Canadian Lakes is made from scratch with fresh ingredients, so your taste buds are always a-dancing. Take out dinner any night of the week from CL Pizza Company. Two 14-inch one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and a 2-liter of cola. Soda or pop. Check the full menu at clpizzaco.com and follow CL Pizza on Facebook.
My name is Kyle Taliska. I'm the principal at Mecosta Elementary School in the Chippewa Hills School District. My Ability is an integrated behavior and reading model where we improve behavior by teaching explicit skills and then in turn increase our instructional time so that we can impact reading and make it better across the board. The more time on task we can have for all students, the better outcomes educationally. And that gives our teachers the chance to do what they're so gifted at doing as far as educating and getting the best outcomes from our students. For more information, visit chsd.us.
Gingrich Tire Center reminds drivers now is the time to make sure your tires are ready for the winter driving season. Test your tread depth in a few different spots to see if they're wearing evenly. Make sure that they're properly inflated, and the best thing you can do is get your new snow tires now. Get your car winter ready from Gingrich Tire Center of Remus, your one-stop on-the-spot auto service station with a complete line of quality tires and auto services. At Gingrich Tire Center, they never tire of tires.
We're a mercantile bank, and we get what banking should be. More importantly, we get you. We get that you have a life, priorities, and hometown pride. We get that you have things that make you tick and things that tick you off. We get what you want and need from your bank. That's why we promise to think, act, and talk like real people who also have a life and share your priorities and hometown pride. Mercantile gets it. Member FDIC.
This just out, the average age of a vehicle on the road today is just over 11 years. That's impressive because it takes regular maintenance and solid repair work to keep a vehicle running well that long. At Quality Car and Truck Repair, that's what we do. We keep vehicles running their best for as long as possible. We're still changing oil, performing regular maintenance, and doing repairs on vehicles much older than that. Keep your vehicle in shape. Call Quality Car and Truck Repair, 220th Avenue and Perry, just west of 131, Big Rapids.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
Home is where the heart is. Since 1903, we've called the heart of Michigan our home. When you bank with us, your money stays right here, invested back into the communities where we work, play, and live, promoting economic growth and community service. At Isabella Bank, we care about our community because this is our home too. Isabella Bank. Bank local, bank anywhere. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Tonight, dinner comes from CL Pizza. Take out two 14-inch delicious one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and a 2-liter of pop for only $29. Every pizza from the CL Pizza Company in Canadian Lakes is made from scratch with fresh ingredients, so your taste buds are always a-dancing. Take out dinner any night of the week from CL Pizza Company. Two 14-inch one-topping pizzas, breadsticks, and a 2-liter of cola. Soda or pop. Check the full menu at clpizzaco.com and follow CL Pizza on Facebook and Instagram.
Gingrich Tire Center reminds drivers now is the time to make sure your tires are ready for the winter driving season. Test your tread depth in a few different spots to see if they're wearing evenly. Make sure that they're properly inflated, and the best thing you can do is get your new snow tires now. Get your car winter ready from Gingrich Tire Center of Remus, your one-stop on-the-spot auto service station with a complete line of quality tires and auto services. At Gingrich Tire Center, they never tire of tires.
My name is Kyle Taliska. I'm the principal at Mecosta Elementary School in the Chippewa Hills School District. My Blissy is an integrated behavior and reading model where we improve behavior by teaching explicit skills and then in turn increase our instructional time so that we can impact reading and make it better across the board. The more time on task we can have for all students, the better outcomes educationally. And that gives our teachers the chance to do what they're so gifted at doing as far as educating and getting the best outcomes from our students. For more information, visit chsd.us.
The end of the season clearance sale is going on now at Lakeside Motorsports and Nelson Speed Shop. You get clearance sale pricing on all pontoons, tri-toons, sport boat, and fishing boats left in stock. Buy your new boat now and save thousands. You get the best price of the year. Buy your new boat now and get free winterization and storage. Every major brand, every boat left in stock is priced to sell now during the end of season clearance sale at Lakeside Motorsports and Nelson Speed Shop.
Home is where the heart is. Since 1903, we've called the heart of Michigan our home. When you bank with us, your money stays right here, invested back into the communities where we work, play, and live, promoting economic growth and community service. At Isabella Bank, we care about our community because this is our home too. Isabella Bank. Bank local, bank anywhere. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
This just out, the average age of a vehicle on the road today is just over 11 years. That's impressive because it takes regular maintenance and solid repair work to keep a vehicle running well that long. At Quality Car and Truck Repair, that's what we do. We keep vehicles running their best for as long as possible. We're still changing oil, performing regular maintenance, and doing repairs on vehicles much older than that. Keep your vehicle in shape. Call Quality Car and Truck Repair, 220th Avenue and Perry, just west of 131, Big Rapids.